Yeah, she's calling back. We're going to try to give her a call again, and then she just added another phone number to the 13-year-old grandson who's possibly with the daughter. Step out with this.
2412.
Veteran crisis hotline's calling in, so they have a female veteran off her medication. She's at work to safe haven. You're checking 12, take a check that one out.
6 1 bullet, 2 point start, take your shots.
Officer still stands for time? No. Offender in custody?
What's up? What's up?
What's going on?
What's up? What's up? Hold on 1 second. Got a lot of stuff to get into tonight. It's been a while since we all got together. There's Kitty. She's spazzing because I just got done feeding her and she wants to play. I'm sorry. We'll get you in a little bit, Spazzball. We'll get you in a little bit. But Man, there's a lot of stuff to go into tonight. Thank you all for hopping in. Appreciate you. Please hit the like if you haven't yet. And if you're not subscribed to these gentlemen, here is the link for their channel again. You're going to be getting into a lot of stuff tonight. Let me see here. Let me drop their links real quick again. Looks like it's a nice day over there, Busby.
It's been a nice day.
There you go.
Once.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, for once.
For once. What, has it been hot there?
Yeah, it's been freaking hot. The humidity
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I figured I'd turn the camera for once until the sun goes down.
Oh, that's cool, man. Humidity does suck, man. That's like the worst part about weather is humidity. I don't mind. I hate ice and I hate humidity. Those are the two things I hate for weather. Other than that, I'm good.
Very true.
Sorry for running late.
Oh, you're good. So, yeah, I saw somebody mention something in chat before the show started about like a vigil they have. There's some events that they have. There's some local news clips we're going to watch. One thing that shocked me over the last couple days, one thing that shocked me that I heard was that they're only assigning one detective is dedicated to the case now. So I guess that means it's moving closer to being cold, huh?
Let's hope not.
I mean, when it comes to kind of like when we were done doing our searches a few months ago, you know, I just always have it in my head. I remember that night where we were all three standing together and we were like, man, all of this searching that all of us have done together this whole time, and there's nothing that gives us any sign other than what we know of what was reported the first morning.
Yeah, nothing at all.
And that memory just sticks in my head whenever I think about, you know, when I heard that only one detective is being dedicated to the case, I go back to that memory again, and it's like, what updates have there been? It's so unfortunate, and I hate to say that, you know, especially if he did run away, which I don't know. After we were done with our searches, I kind of told you guys, I feel like he was taken and he's being held.
Yep, and people. Anyway.
No, go ahead, man.
There's a lot of different theories, but
a lot. I mean, of course, because there is no science.
Yeah,
it could be so many different things.
No one's right, no one's wrong. I mean, that's kind of how it is at this point.
Yeah,
I know the areas that we've searched, other people have searched. So
yeah, with everybody,
it doesn't look like he left on his own, and that's kind of where I'm at. I think that's where all three of us are at.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, without more facts, there's I don't know what else to do. You know, I mean,
it's kind of like when I made those videos, I got a lot of flack for it a few months ago. But after we were done and I kept seeing the circle searches, I'm like, look, come on. If you guys listen, I love the fact that people are out there searching, but let's be productive. You know what I mean? Instead of circle searching, branch out. Because before it becomes the United States or, God forbid, outside of the United States, because we don't know, we got to start to what is logical.
Yep.
The paths that the people were at that were close to him. I mean, it's that simple. And, you know, and it seems like you could go back to that video from a few months ago and replay it today. Because honestly, I mean, they got some other dude that's out there copying all my videos.
Oh, I know.
Silver or something like that.
I don't need to say it, man. He's just pop, 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 pop. And then he's got a shovel. I got to be careful going down rabbit holes anymore because, man, I get so mad and go on a rant, and it's not about me. It's not about any of us. But when I see...
It's about being productive.
Yeah. And
is what it's about.
It's almost like a...
Go ahead.
I don't know what I would even call it, but just like I don't say copycat, but something, I don't even know the proper terminology.
It's about like I said, man. If branch out. We all know, we've all documented where we've searched, whether it was through a map or online or through video. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is a collective community. I think we've all kind of paid attention to each other's stuff. So to me, it's like, come on, man. Hendersonville is only so big.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you got to branch out. Like, I'm not saying people should stop. I'm saying, come on, man. Like, if I was there and I could literally walk out of my door and be there in 5 or 10 minutes, hey, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, all of us were driving from long distances just to put in work.
Yeah, 4 and 5 hours away.
And hitting it hard.
Right. All day, no matter what kind of weather it was, all day.
We were putting in 12, 13-hour days.
Yeah, a couple times we were out there till late, 10 o'clock at night, even 11 o'clock, doing stuff. So it's like, it's like I said from the beginning, like these victims we've already lost time because of whatever unfortunate act that took place. So the victims have already lost time, and the last thing we need to do is not make good use of that time. And that's where it comes along with, being productive, understanding what has been out there, what's not, where you could actually, you know what I mean? Because what if he is somewhere along I-40 and he's been there this whole time?
I've got a couple ideas too, so
excuse me. So to me, it's like, I don't understand. I don't understand it, but and then you got like Seth out there on a boat using sonar and stuff. Like,
is that what he was doing?
You gotta know what you're doing. Yeah, this was like a couple months ago when there was, quote, an update
with TikTok man.
Yeah, but there was no update, and he's out there driving the boat, with the sonar and stuff. He's sitting right behind the screen, like Trey would be.
Apparently, they had someone that at least kind of knew how. I don't know who it was, but they apparently had someone that could run sonar, and then that person got ran off, or they got in an argument or something.
They got in an argument.
Yeah.
Why would you get into an argument with somebody that?
It was. This is all like third-party information, but TikTok Tony.
Yeah.
Who I don't remember who the other person was, but ran off the person that could run it. That's all allegedly. I don't know that for a fact.
Well, I mean, when I saw the video, I just saw Seth behind it. That's why I called him Sonar Seth, because I'm like, bro, I want to challenge you to a tire off, because I bet you I could find a tire before you could.
Yeah.
No, I'm being serious. Like, because
dude,
I've been on with Trey, like in the beginning, bro. I didn't know what the hell I was looking at. You're sitting there going, yes, I think this is a log and a tree. And I'm like, it looks like me,
after you do it long, like for so long, it's kind of, I don't know how to explain it other than like you can stare at the screen and everything that's normal.
It looks like malto meal,
It's like muscle memory, Trey.
Yeah.
But as he's pointing stuff out, like then you start, you got to like, you can't just hop on it and be like, oh yeah, that's such and such.
As soon as you start turning the boat, as soon as you start turning it, you can't really count that image. You got to you can kind of, you know what I mean? But you got to go back over that area, because as soon as you start turning, with side imaging, at least down imaging, it'll smear it, turn it, make it look like it's something it's not. So, I mean, there's so much. It's very simple, if that makes sense, but there's so much to it.
Well, yeah, not even like learning what's visually there, but also how to navigate what speeds.
Yep.
When it comes to the clarity of the image too, there's a lot that it's involved. You can't just jump behind it.
Oh no, you got to
think you're going to find something.
Like your electrical, and as far as like having a filter on there, like interference, how your transducer's set, each boat's different. That's just like with my boat. It's so narrow. I've got prop wash on the inside, but if I put it off too much to the outside, I would have even more prop wash from the outside. It wouldn't be prop wash, but like basically turbulence from the outside of the boat.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to like pick and choose.
Yeah, it's an art, really.
Yeah.
And you're always perfecting it no matter. I mean, how long have you been doing it, man? Like, how many years have you been?
Way too long. Way
Yeah.
too long. Like,
So, I mean, I'm sure every day it's a learning process too, right?
oh, yeah. I'm always like, as soon as I think I have everything, or at least know everything about my setup, I'll run by something and I'm like, or I'll find some new information online about how you should set something up or set different settings, like different frequencies for structure and how like networking. I need to get another unit. And I want to get my live scope going. So that'll be a whole another ball game.
Live scope. What's that,
Live
man?
scope.
What's that?
Basically,
like even finer image?
That's a
So-
game.
Yeah,
like
it's a
you
game
zoom, like
changer.
a zoom, like a
So-
like a scope, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, it gives you a live image instead of what you just passed. So like I don't want to say all the time, but sometimes you go over something and you're just like, okay, it's a vehicle, but it's a hard time. You're having a hard time figuring out like what kind of vehicle, like whether it's a car, truck, van. You might
Yeah.
just see a structure because it's so silted in. At least with live imaging, you can get you just get a better visual, and it's live. You can literally, the boat doesn't have to move. So you could pull up into a cove, like the super shallow areas
Oh, okay, yeah.
we were in. I don't know, there's like 2 or 3 different angles you can do, but you can pan it out depending on which one you got, and you could comb that area and basically light it up. You know what I mean?
Okay.
A lot of people use it for ice fishing. They'll have it
Yeah.
like in a box, drop it down in the hole, and they'll pan it. And you can either look down, forward, and then I forgot. I don't know the footage, obviously, because I've not got to use live scope. But
Ooh,
It's
nice.
so if I'm ever like, man, I want to scan this little corner over here, but I'm having a hard time not hitting stumps, keeping the boat straight, if it's a curve. So you could literally stop in that area, pull out the trolling motor or something, get closer and closer, and just light it up and
Nice.
scan and pan
Oh,
without
yeah.
having to run back and forth.
That is
So-
a game changer. It saves fuel and time too.
Yep. And then, like, for instance, I found literally 2 vehicles. It was 2 trucks super close together.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, man, looks like cab. And it was kind of blending. The side imaging was blending it together because it was so close. I'm like, I think it's a vehicle, but like, it is huge. I'm like, I don't even know. I was, because it was so huge. Then I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's a truck. And then I dove on the one truck, went to make my search around, and then my back of my legs got kind of like stuck and hit the side of the truck, and then I had to go between the 2 trucks. And I was like, well, no
Ooh.
wonder the image looks so weird. Now, if you had live imaging, you could literally light it up, and you'd be like, oh,
Nice.
for sure, there's 2 vehicles here. I thought maybe it was like a shelf or something,
Yeah.
and it was silted in. It was like making it look like 2. You'll drive yourself mad too, because I'm like, well, maybe I'm going too fast, or maybe I'm going too slow, and I'm, stretching it. So there's a lot to it.
And it can be pretty detailed, CJ. If let's say you and I were on Trey's boat and he went and dove on a vehicle, if we were
Oh, yeah,
watching,
you can see me.
if
literally-
For real. Oh
can
wow.
see his air bubbles.
Yep, you can see my bubbles, my fins.
Wow.
Because you could pan it. I could set you guys up if it was like decent conditions, and you could be like, "Oh, he's going around the cab,
Yep.
Wow. So,
wherever I was at."
huh. So what is it? It's like an ultrasound in a way.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
Yeah,
kind of to dumb
You
it down.
just
Yeah,
point where you want it to, and it'll give you the.
there's down, and then there's forward, and then I don't know exactly that. I don't have live scope, but there's different angles that you can pitch it to light up. Whether
Interesting.
you want the bottom or in front of you. So like if I was just going to run it with the side imaging, I would probably more than likely have it facing forward. So that way when we're going, I can kind of see what's ahead of the boat.
Hell yeah. When are you supposed to get that?
Whenever I hit the lottery.
Oh, it's
Just to
one
be
of
honest.
those
It's
those
just-
gears. Yeah.
It's just one of those more like that much more of an expense. It's definitely worth it if you can get it, but right now it's a lot of gas money.
Yeah,
So
I hear that, man.
I'll get it
Yeah.
eventually.
That's the two biggest costs is lodge and gas.
Yep.
For sure when you're doing this stuff. This is what was now I had watched, shout out JLR Magnolia. I had watched their show about the restraining orders
Oh my.
on BHB. Now I haven't really, because I've been so focused on the investigation stuff we're doing for Micah. I haven't got to check out any of that stuff, but I'm sitting there watching JLR. Obviously, he didn't want to name names. I totally get it. He said that there's a lot of stuff, he's not saying, can anybody tell me like what happened? Because I mean,
They are
it's
each other.
okay. I don't understand, because I thought she was just driving, doing what, we've only went by the house a couple times. That was it. It wasn't like some of these other people that were like literally hanging out on that block, on that cul-de-sac,
Right.
remember?
We went by
Let
there
me
to get a
add that.
starting point and then scope
But-
out that area for,
What is she doing? Like, I thought that's all she was doing. And here I found out like they didn't even serve her or something, or they were having issues serving her.
They have to serve her, from what I understand, they have to serve her in Tennessee.
I thought she was in Tennessee.
She was back in Florida. She's been sick.
That's weird.
Oh, wait. Was it like one of those, I know what's coming, I'm going to head back to Florida kind of thing, or what?
They can't send it to her? Like,
Why does it have to be served in Tennessee, Busby? What
I
is
don't
that
know
about?
the exact reason why, but that's what I heard.
did they not have, I butcher this word,
Reciprocating states.
Yeah. Is
Yeah,
that what?
I don't know. That's just what I heard, that she had to be served in Tennessee. I could be wrong.
Oh gosh.
But-
So it's something minor then.
Right.
Well, it's not like something actually, was physical or something. It was more of like maybe conversation, social
It's-
media, her
Kind of-
lives. Oh, you're cutting out, buddy.
I am.
Yeah, you were cutting out just for a second. What'd you just say?
Sorry. It
No,
was
you're good.
sounds more like Katie is afraid of her, and
Well, I mean, come on.
I don't know what's.
Dude, did you see the way she was for what's her name? The mom that
Oh yeah,
Leilani and the mom. I mean, dude, they changed their city laws because of that woman. Like, they changed their city laws because of her. So I mean, but afraid? Why would she?
yeah. I mean, that's what I'm gathering.
I don't know if it was taken out of context, but I don't know if it was a live or a video, but talking about pulling out from here.
Are
or
you
something.
serious?
Did you see that?
Okay, well, I get that then.
But I don't know
that's
how
ridiculous.
Well, she didn't say. I don't think she said it like directed towards them. It was just more like, man, I wish I had the video.
Well, Jay for Justice did a video on it and had a lawyer come on and discuss it. So that's one of the videos.
It
we were
might
gonna
have been
check out.
from.
And when it comes to like searchers, right? Dog the Bounty Hunter, she there's a video where Dog had his thoughts on the Sebastian Rogers case, and
Right.
I mean, come on, if you think about it, it's kind of what we've been saying and thinking
Yep.
the whole time,
Yep.
even though people were criticizing,
Oh, people get wild.
I don't know. Maybe it's just different when you're there instead of never being there. Because it is a different atmosphere when you're there. You're out there in the woods. You are putting in all that time doing different kind of searches, and really, you're not coming up with any little teeny tidbit of a clue whatsoever.
It's very odd not to like have anything.
Yeah.
Like no siding.
Absolutely nothing.
It's just weird because like even the like 90, I'm gonna say 90% of the time, but especially nowadays, it's just like they'll know like okay, he was last seen at this whatever town,
Yep.
4 miles south of this road, and that's they at least have that. This is just up and gone, like
Yeah,
no
man.
info.
And that's like I heard Seth has a petition. I don't know if it's true or not. I heard Seth has a petition not to be a suspect anymore.
I seen that today.
Well, I mean, have they not kept your video games this whole time, bro?
Yeah, if
Yeah.
they seize electronic devices and
I'm
not
just saying,
and they don't give them back, there's
When-
something.
when you're not listen, when you leave your son home alone late at night, and he has the ability to get on video games, and you know that there's pedos on there. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's why I'm like, when you look at the facts and you look at what's there, number one, dude, that's why you're a suspect. That's why you've always been a suspect, because they couldn't like the video games, dude. And if you're not there to monitor, you should already know, like, you know your son. If you're not there to monitor the right way, well, then you leave the door cracked for things to happen.
And you can't
And
tell me that kids can't figure out how to get on the internet these days.
bro, you know how many predators are sitting there waiting for a kid to get on, especially Call of Duty,
Right.
and say, "Hey, guess what, buddy? Oh yeah, I'm 20 years younger. Oh, you live here? Hey, buddy, guess
Yep.
what? I'll come by on Sunday night, and when I'll come knock on your window so you know it's me. Come out and say hi."
Well, I've
That
already
would make him not go. That would make him go out there without getting his shoes on, because dude would be so excited to go meet his friend from Call of Duty.
Especially thinking he's just gonna pop back into the house.
right.
There'd be no reason to have shoes.
I mean,
You're
I've
I've
so
already,
excited you don't even think about putting shoes on, is what I'm saying.
right.
You know, that's the only thing, because we heard from Seth, he didn't even take the trash out unless he had slippers on.
Mhm.
So the only thing that makes sense to me is that something that's going to make him not even think about putting on shoes is being excited to go meet his friend from video games that he plays with when he's supposed to be sleeping, but really he's hanging out with Billy.
Yep.
So I don't know what this whole petition is. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's been that way from the beginning. They took your video game system. They've never given it back.
It's insane.
I mean, you just put 2 and 2 together.
They're pressing real hard for him to get cleared, and I don't know why. Because
Get the video game system back.
super suspicious how much they're going, clear him. And I'm like,
Well,
Yeah.
they need to clear somebody. I mean, shoot.
he's a parent of the kid that went missing.
They need to be honest and upfront with what's there and what's not. Did Seth get his alibi verified about being at work?
I mean, it's kind of simple. If they did find something on the console, they'd just be like, "Hey, come in," and then just
Well, bro, when you're talking about you look at all these huge stings. These stings that take place are like 20, 30 people, and there's so many spider webs when it comes to that stuff. I can see how they wouldn't,
that's true.
because it leads them to one hole and then another one and then another one, and they got to maintain the integrity, so they can't really,
Especially
I mean, look at who's getting busted there, right? For the same stuff.
Right. Yeah,
I mean,
case-
there's another one.
this case is aggravating as hell.
Because there's another one that just, I mean, how? Let me see. It was something from the local news that just came out a couple days ago. Somebody else Let me see. A Henderson man found guilty of SA of a minor. This is like, and there another one from Illinois that was connected to Hendersonville.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
it ain't what it was 10 years ago, man. I'm telling you that. Something's really gone bad there.
You know, you call it what you want. I wish I was better explaining stuff, but there's I can't remember the sheriff's office, but there's a sheriff's office that put this program out called Ghost, and it breaks down. I don't know if it's like I can say it on YouTube without getting us in trouble, but trafficking.
Yeah.
Like it breaks it down from the victims to the people doing it, and then I don't want to say parlors, but people like at the very beginning basically said who would want a kid that was autistic. Like, you know, for
the
that
dark
reason.
web. The
That's
dark
what I'm
web.
saying.
Yeah.
I'm like, some of these cases they've usually the younger, and if you can't defend yourself, is who they want, and it doesn't like there's not really a preference. And I hate to say it like that, but if people were look up that program, it's called Ghost, and it's a sheriff's office. They have a YouTube channel. I mean, they just break it down, and people will be blown away on how big that goes.
Yeah. Hey, man, if you drop it in private chat, if
I
you
can
have
find it.
Yeah. But yeah, I was wondering about this petition because, you know, after we were done, I'm like, yeah, I think he was taken. I think somebody met him on video games, said, hey, I'm going to come by on this night. I'll knock on your window when I'm there and come out and give, you know, whatever. I really think. Now, how did it not show up on Ring camera? I don't know. There's a lot of people in the neighborhood that said we ain't got any footage. And this was after the law changed about Ring cameras, where you had to have permission in order to collect Ring cam footage. They changed the law for law enforcement last year.
My personal opinion is that's people that don't want to get involved. They have something, they just don't want to get involved in it.
You think what? So you think people are like, you think Hendersonville or the neighborhood itself is scared to assist?
Very possibly could be. I mean, as far as, you know, giving out camera footage or anything, I mean, it could be.
Because I don't like the whole time I thought if he did leave, he left through the backyard. You know, that map I made way back then.
Yep.
Went through the backyard and up into those trees.
Uh-oh.
Oops, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Did he get booted out too?
Yep.
Wow, StreamYard must have bugged out there.
Yeah, like popped out big time. I thought it was something I did.
Yeah, hold on. Hold on. Let me see.
Oh, now you got two narcs.
Oh no.
That was weird. That shoot. No, I didn't. Oh, I lost my train of thought. But
You were talking about how you go out through between the houses.
oh yeah, and there has not been a sign. So there would be. And I heard something about the wintertime and how it's supposed to help. Thank you, Trey. There's that link that Trey was talking about.
And you have to click on like the top of the page after that link if you want to do it. Just like you just hit Ghost certification, but it's just there's a lot of videos on there about, and they just break everything down. I mean, it's pretty informative. They're not psychologists, but they break down the thinking behind people.
Right.
That kind of do those things.
There you go. Yeah, there is no sign. There would be a sign if that really did take place. So to me, how else would he have, you know what I mean? Like, how else? Like,
I'm
how
lost.
else?
There's absolutely not enough information on this one.
And people will travel across the United States to go get somebody.
Right.
Right.
So it doesn't have to be local.
No.
I mean, it could be, but
I mean, I just saw a video come across the news 10 minutes before the show showing a ring camera of somebody's house and a couple kids running from the street, and you can see the guy from the white SUV running out after the kid, realizing he couldn't get him, and then running back to his car and running in. The mom was able to get a photo of the license plate. It's there's no state that's specific. It's all over the country.
The I-40 corridor is notorious for that trafficking too. It's one of the
Really?
most interstates in the country.
What, I-40 right there? Why? Because it's like in the middle of the country?
Yep.
And you can pretty much go from there and branch off into any other part of the country.
Yeah, even numbers go east to west, and odd numbers go north to south, is what I remember.
Yeah, it's scary. So I'm surprised. I mean, with them only dedicating one officer to the case now, to me, it sounds like it's heading in that direction because there is no.
Yeah.
I wish they would have clarified if that detective was handling other cases or only Sebastian's.
Well, hopefully they bring it up because we're going to check it out.
I would be interested, like, because I think someone had said that they had a detective assigned to the case from day one.
Right.
Well, I don't know. There's a video on it.
Okay.
So we'll check it out. We're going to get into these things. What Dog was saying, all these different things that we've been talking about here. We're gonna definitely get into it. And we're gonna check out some of the events that are coming up here too. First, I want to give some contribution call outs here real quick before we get the show started. I want to say contribution call out to Paula P for the $20 Venmo. Excuse me. Also, here I have to bring it up again because I got booted. 1 second. And I also want to say contribution call out to all the new members: Bethany, D's Crafts, Goro, Barb, Christy, Kay Adams, Adeline, and Sherry. Thank you so much for becoming a member. And we'll share this number real quick: Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. Both of the phone numbers right there. And also a zoom in, excuse me, of the information. This is what we know. And unfortunately, this is all we know when it comes to any kind of updates that have taken place, unfortunately. Sad to say that. All right, let me get into this. We'll go ahead and check out the first one. This is a vigil set to honor Sebastian here.
Coming in, he says that
Vigil will be held later this month to bring awareness to the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers.
it's been nearly 6 months since the 15-year-old with autism was last seen. Last month, the Sumner County Sheriff's Office told us there still has not been any traces of the teen. His father, Seth, told us today that tips are still coming in. He says they continue to have vigils to let people know that Sebastian is constantly being thought of.
There's still people that don't know that Sebastian is missing. There are people that still don't know about Sebastian. And I just want to bring some more awareness to the community I live in and the community around Nashville that, my son is missing and that I need the public's help to find him.
There will be a benefit ride for Sebastian on August 24th at the Fallen Brewery on Jardco Drive in Clarksville. A prayer vigil will be held shortly after the ride. Organizers are asking for a $25 donation per rider, which will include a custom shirt, a bracelet, and a meal following the vigil. 100% of the proceeds will go to Michaela's Mutt Motel, a veteran-owned and operated dog rescue in Clarksville. This is to celebrate Sebastian's love for animals.
We used animal therapy when he was younger, when we lived in Kansas, and he really likes to take care of animals.
Seth's spokesperson, Tony Mathis, says a protest will be held outside of the Sumner County Sheriff's Office on August 26th. Seth is working to clear his name as a suspect in order to bring in more resources like the Cold Case Foundation to help in the search for Sebastian.
Okay, why why would he be? This is a missing child. Why would he need to be cleared in order for that to happen? I don't understand that. What am I missing?
I don't
Maybe
understand.
I don't know how it works, but I mean, to me, why? So one of the parents needs to be cleared in order for them to help. I don't get that.
I mean, they're not going to give him any more information either way. Like if it was something else, because they're going to work it. Like if it was that. I don't know.
I don't get it.
I'm sorry. I was blown away by they're having a visual for Sebastian, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the money's going to go towards
the pet place.
Why not towards something for Sebastian? I got actually to help find Sebastian. I'm like, weird.
For one
weird.
father.
Sorry.
Like I love animals, but
here, let me put it up.
I get you.
It's for
Right
Sebastian. This is for Sebastian.
Right there. And here, let me zoom it up for you guys so you can see. Let's go like right there. So basically, Sebastian absolutely loves animals. Join us as we give back to Michaela's Mutt Motel, a veteran-owned and operated dog rescue in Clarksville. $25 donation per rider, which will include a custom T-shirt, a bracelet, and a meal following the vigil. So even if it is a peanut butter and jelly, that's still $25. You get a T-shirt and a bracelet. That's pretty cool.
I'm not gonna. I don't want to say this, but when my aunt passed away, she asked that everyone make a donation to the animal shelters in her name.
Well,
I mean, at this point, he's missing, right?
It says right here, all proceeds go to Michaela's Mutt Motel, 100%.
I find that very weird.
It is weird.
I'd be like, let's get some money so I can hire like something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like more
like
resources.
A better PI.
Maybe a couple PIs, and they're not allowed to share information at first. Maybe they can come up with see if they come to the same conclusion, or see if they come up with totally different conclusions.
I mean, if you want to call him a PI, I don't consider him a PI. I mean,
no.
he got fired from the other family, and then jumped over to Seth, and then real people left.
Yeah, all the real help and people out there wanting to do the right thing in the right way, and we all work together.
It's crazy. I don't know. It's probably you know whose idea. We can't say his name because then he gets mad and like starts slapping at you.
You know what I would like to do, but it never happened.
What?
1,000 people show up in the neighborhood, and we all lock arms and just walk in a line as far as you can, and the areas that you can't, and you just clear it.
It's been searched so many times.
I know,
too. Man.
But there's some hills. There's only one place in that area I would want to search. Just honestly,
it's private property too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it that farm?
Well, I don't know if I want to just put it all out there yet.
No, I'm just saying. Is it that farm?
There's
You don't have to say.
There's some property that we were allowed to search.
Yeah.
And then there was a neighboring property that it was basically you don't want to talk to that guy.
Yeah.
Like he ain't gonna let nobody do anything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you got the whole. There's like a creek I think that ran through there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Like even for a kid.
Yeah. I know, man. I know because I know what spot you're talking
Yeah.
about too. Yeah. Long ass driveway.
Yep.
It's just him. Yeah.
Yep.
Don't even go close to that
No,
fence that
don't.
borders that property because he will know that you're even close to that fence.
Everyone else was just like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, I hear that. But you're right, man. I don't know. It almost seems like, who knows though, man. Maybe it's a way it does keep his name out there.
It does.
Even if 100% of the proceeds go to the motel, it is kind of weird. You know what I mean?
But love for animals, I think, is why they're doing that. But
I mean, they're still having the vigil after the ride.
Right. On that news thing, the thing I didn't care for was they're talking about, proceeds going to the animal, the Mutt Motel, and all that stuff. And then the very next sentence they say is about a protest.
Yeah.
Didn't set right with me.
I've heard that too. Yeah.
I mean, where are they trying to
I don't know.
protest exactly?
I mean, what do you like? They're trying to protest the investigation. I don't know. I mean, come on,
I think they said that it was trying to protest to get Seth's name cleared.
Is that what it is? I thought there was a petition.
Isn't it what it said?
So maybe that's what it is. Maybe they are showing up for the because it's supposed to be at the sheriff's office.
Was there another protest on the 28th?
To be cleared if you can't get his video game system back.
Yeah.
Listen, if the video game system is connected to him missing, I'm sorry, sir, you are culpable.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's be real. So to me, it's like until they give you the video game system back, because really, if you think about it, it just makes sense. Maybe that's why they haven't given it back, because they're like, this is the only reason that makes sense.
Right.
You don't have to be on the video game that night. Hey, I'll come knock on your window, buddy. Right? I mean,
yeah,
I don't get it. I mean,
it's so aggravating.
It is. It is. And I don't know. It's just, I hate to even say it. It's almost like they're just, you got your own YouTube channel and you're talking all sexual on other people's panels and stuff.
Right.
I mean, come on.
I feel like, I'm just going to say it, I feel like people are doing or saying one thing with a poker face, or at least a terrible poker face, and then doing totally different things, and it's just a total cluster. Surround yourself by people that can't do anything. Just start drama.
Well, I mean, just think about it. Think about all the over the last how many months? Not only the people that have shown up, unalived, the SOs that have, just like recently, there was another one, a guy with a minor child. Like, hello, people. Like, you got to know the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying?
The whole area is pretty much like that. There was a police department or sheriff's office. It was kind of like going rogue. Like doing kind of like, well, that wasn't no kind of. I guess there's a whole investigation on this police department for doing questionable things to track these people down.
Yep.
And then talking about how they won't make it out of the jail.
Yep.
Oh.
Like,
what?
Basically, they're so fed up with it. They were breaking the law. Like, anyway, going above and beyond to make sure that they were getting these people out of there, whether that was them not making it out of the jail, people disappearing. There's a
Huh.
whole thing on it that keeps popping up.
Yeah, they kind of did a detour on the other side of the line,
Yeah,
and then
like
Yeah.
Breaking Bad, but for cops
exactly.
to get rid of the
Yeah.
SOs.
Well, there is a fact that there's 283 of them in Sumner County alone.
That's a
Yeah.
lot.
My gosh. And the crap. And listen, we were there at night. Though there is not much lighting there.
It's dark.
But man, get some street lights up, Hendersonville. Shoot. Like, man, if it's that bad,
Yeah, if his
get
house,
some street lights.
if his house had been a lot closer to the middle of Hendersonville, there would have been streetlights. But
It is
it's
so dark there at night, man. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
yeah, and
And
there,
these houses are huge. To me, I'm sitting there going, number one, why wouldn't you want surveillance all around your houses when they're this nice? And you got these cars out there and everything. Number two, why wouldn't you want more lighting in neighborhoods where you have high value property? Because we know the value of property down there is huge. So
have a fake sense of safety out there.
it's just so cozy. Are they like you always said since we met, Busby, you always say 10 years ago it was different. Is everybody stuck
So
10
different.
years ago thinking it's safe? Like it's safe from 10 years ago?
Oh.
They don't want to admit?
10 years ago, Hendersonville was the place to be, and you didn't have to worry about nothing. I mean, I would walk down the middle of Hendersonville, no problem, 10 years ago.
So what, you think people just don't want to admit that it's a scary freaking place?
There's some people out there that have admitted that it's changed a lot.
It is bad, Busby. When we stayed at that hotel, there's people having like a knockdown drag out outside. And then
Oh,
there was
for
like
real?
there was like dents in the doors for people like trying to kick the door down.
What?
It was bad.
Dude, I remember because I was gonna stay, and I'm like, no, I'm just gonna
It was-
drive back. I'm just gonna drive back, you
Yeah, it
guys.
was
I'll see
bad.
you in the morning. I want to
Yeah.
try and save the money or whatever.
Yeah, you might have saved-
Really?
It was
So-
bad. Like you could see where
What?
some of the door jams, like the like the frame had been like cracked because there was someone kicked the door in. It was bad. I
I
swear. I can't
wish
think.
I would have known in advance that you're going to stay at that hotel because I would have told you no.
It was terrible.
Busby.
I said we're gonna wake up. The truck's gonna be. Both vehicles are gonna be gone. All the gear, and then yeah.
I
That's
I
how I
would've
felt.
told you.
I go buy a tent and we'll go camp out in the park before you stay.
Oh
at
yeah.
that
I'd rather take my chances out in the sticks with a bear. At least I know. I know I can survive that. I can't. There's just too many people.
What the heck, man? So it was like downtown Detroit or something, huh?
It looked like if you pull off the road and you pull up, you'd be like, that's not a bad little spot. And then as soon as you're there, you're like, something ain't adding up. The people yelling, people walking, not dressed appropriately. People kind of
What,
more
like as soon as you pull in the parking lot, or when you go up to the front desk, you're like, wow, that wallpaper don't look right. Like what? When did it hit you, man?
whenever after we got the key cards and then people were pulling up, there were some people not. I don't know what they were doing as far as their line of work. If that makes sense. That people walking with some inappropriate clothing or something. Yeah.
What you're throwing down?
Oh,
And then-
hell no.
And then guys driving up like it was the spot, and I'm like, this is not
Yep.
good. This is not a good
Oh
look.
my gosh, man, I'm sorry.
was
Hell
bad.
no.
It was bad.
You know what you could have done, Trey? Should ask
You
him what
did it so respectfully too. I'm sorry, but
their hourly was.
It
he
was,
did it so respectfully. Not the right attire.
I mean,
Oh, shit.
it's
Hey, good
YouTube.
job, though. Right? Yeah,
every
yeah.
t- I try to say it the proper way on YouTube. I try to, unless I'm mad.
Yeah, I seen that one. Woo.
Yeah.
Spicy.
Wow.
Sorry, Buzzy.
I actually know of a hotel that's worse than that one, Trey. So, and it's not far from that one.
It's
Oh, wow.
I mean, if you got to work, you got to work. But
There you go.
it's that environment. It's that.
Did you get any sleep?
Oh yeah, I sleep. I sleep with items. The
Yeah,
wrong
but-
noise. The wrong
I mean,
noise.
like, was there like
Oh no, there's noise. Some
walls getting
sound
punched
systems.
through? Oh yeah, yeah.
We didn't have that. Maybe some
Yeah.
rocking and knocking.
There's some sound systems.
Yeah, but no, it's just that environment in that community, and I don't anybody that lives there. I don't want to knock. You know, I'm not trying to knock it. When you have that being so open, I guess if you're doing that openly,
Yeah.
like what else is going on?
Right. Yeah,
So-
yeah. Yeah, I get that.
And to have that many SOs in that area,
Right. That's crazy.
and that's just the
Buzzy.
ones that are registered.
Yeah, those are registered.
Yeah, not to mention the ones that you have no idea about.
That are not registered.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy, Busby. I didn't know that many were in that county, man. That's
Yeah.
nuts. And then they have that, that kind of. There's a lot of missing kids there.
It makes sense.
Oh yeah.
There's that atmosphere in the scene.
Hmm.
I noticed that the TBI website, the number of missing has went down a few, but that could have been because of that local, or that not local, but that large sting that happened, and they found like 150 kids.
Oh my gosh, that many?
Yeah,
Holy crap!
and that's my fear.
150.
Exactly. I can't remember exactly where it was at, but it was like last month.
Oh, on the East Coast,
I
or
think
actual?
I can't remember exactly what state it was in. I've gotten too many cases and everything else in my brain.
Right. Well, let me. This is. We'll watch this video here. This is more events that were planned nearly 6 months, and it's crazy to think it's almost 6 months, man.
It's sad.
Right.
It's been way too long.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's
mean,
check this out. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go
At this rate, though, usually, like, I don't want to say usually, but it's like two things usually happen when the case goes cold, or there's a sign, or someone comes forward with something. And this 6 months is a long time.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's an eternity.
People are still talking about when we were all there, though.
I wish we could have been there the whole time, honestly.
Yeah.
But unfortunately. All right. I'm going to go get the kitty real quick. She's woke up. She's wanting me. And I'm going to play this real quick. This is another local news clip talking about the events that are planned, about the Vigil and the ride or whatever.
For one father, the last 5 months have brought unimaginable challenges. February 26th, Seth Rogers' son, Sebastian, disappeared from Sumner County.
And since then, Seth has crisscrossed the state looking for his son. But as more time passes, he fears people will forget Sebastian. News 2's Sarah Smith shows us what Seth is doing to ensure that doesn't happen.
Nearly 6 months have passed since Sebastian Rogers went missing. His dad, Seth Rogers, says it feels like time stands still.
Still feels like one continuous day. Still looking, still getting tips, still trying to keep awareness that my son is missing so he doesn't disappear.
It's a case that's intrigued the country. Sebastian is 15 and has autism. On February 26th, he disappeared from his mom and stepdad's home in Hendersonville. Investigators say he wasn't seen leaving on home security cameras. Search crews have used boats, helicopters, and horses trying to find him.
We found nothing. which in itself is promising.
The more the merrier. You know, we want all hands on deck. We've got some very qualified other organizations that have offered to come in and help.
To keep Sebastian's name out there, the owners of Michaela's Mutt Motel are hosting an event in his honor. It's Saturday, August 24th at 2 p.m. at the Fallen Brewery in Clarksville.
His family reached out saying that Sebastian just really loved and adored animals. And so we were honored to be selected for the charity, but they wanted to give back to an animal charity in his honor. So we're very, very touched by the whole story.
I'm wanting the community to show up, help spread awareness that Sebastian is out there somewhere and that we need to find him.
Rogers is asking everyone to not give up hope in finding his son.
As a father, you realize that a lot of things that you do in life is for your children. And when they just go missing, you know, the only thing you think about is trying to find them.
The Sumner County Interim Sheriff says one detective a day is assigned to Sebastian's case. There's a peaceful protest planned outside their office on August 26th. Rogers hopes that this encourages investigators to provide more answers. Bob and Haley.
Well, yeah,
6 months ago.
They should be providing more answers so people aren't sitting here guessing so much, you know, especially like, can you tell us if his alibi at work is confirmed or not for sure? You know, there's a lot of things. What about that, you know, Katie and Chris's whereabouts and their stories and all of these other things? Like, there is a lot of stuff that they haven't been totally upfront on. Yeah. So hopefully they do. I mean,
it would clear up a lot of stuff. You're right.
Wouldn't they have I would think if they were going to do it, they would already have had a press conference since, I mean, who wants a protest showing up?
Well, especially like if you're the police and you're like, okay, look, these parents are getting a lot of heat. We need to clear this up. If it wasn't going down a different road, that's just my opinion.
Not only
I don't
that,
know.
the whole subdivision is getting disrupted because people are constantly driving through there.
Yeah, with shovels.
I mean, and you know, like there's a lot of people that want to help, whether they have their own personal gains in mind or they really are helping for the cause.
Right.
You know, give those people more of a direction on where they can use their efforts, you know? And so hopefully they will become more upfront, you know, with what the facts are and what's not, because I know there's still a lot of questions with a lot of stuff. Now, this talks about the sheriff's office dedicates one detective to the case each day. What is that? Just to answer the tips, I imagine? Because, I mean, hell, there's still a lot of tips that are going on out there. Hey, can you go search this fresh pile here? Or, hey, can you go check out this, you know, spot over here? I'm sure they're still getting flooded with tips. Hi, kitty. So what does the one detective a day mean?
Does it mean a different detective a day?
I don't know. I think so.
It's so confusing the way they...
I think so. Because I thought that's what she just said. It was one detective a day.
That's what it's, yeah.
Both of those news reports are extremely short and vague.
Well, yeah. I mean, so are the updates. I mean, how many times have we heard there's an update on local news channel, and next thing you know, it's not an update, just that they've done more searches behind the scene.
Anybody know if Seth and Tony ever did give an update on the objects of concern they found in the water?
I can't remember what the update was, but I think they said they confirmed it was not anything of
interest. Or
I mean, there's a lot of stuff where they've claimed that they had stuff, and it's like, if it was, I would think if it, listen, what law enforcement agency wants to have another missing kid out there, if there's some information or a tip that's credible, don't you think they're going to go after it?
I think, yeah. They
Right?
Yeah.
So if when it comes to this evidence that's sitting in the back of a truck, like if it was, it's like somebody getting pissed because TBI didn't come out and check a fresh dirt pile and somebody was sitting out there for 3 days making money off of it, sitting there saying, yep, I called in the tip, I'm just waiting for him to show up. And it's like, dude, why are you wasting time?
Well, it's also like, I don't want to say wasting resources, but it's kind of like the obvious. And
well, it's like I can't believe I can imagine how many people are calling in saying, hey, can you go check this dirt pile?
Right.
It's probably overwhelming, which is going to take away from the actual investigation.
Maybe that's why they're just giving one officer a day, so that way it's like a rotation thing. All right, you're answering phone calls and emails today.
Yeah, because whoever's in charge of it would be burnt out,
right,
just by the madness.
Yeah, they probably did. I wouldn't be surprised if the person that was running it got sent off to some vacation for a week to get their mental back. I'm being serious.
Well, yeah, it'd be
they'll do
overwhelming.
that. Yeah, they'll do that. They'll send their officers off, to a, somewhere for a week. It's like a vacation, but it's meant to get your mental health back, and because there's there's stuff that they got to deal with when it comes to that stuff too. So I don't know. We'll find out. It says that's what I thought she said. I thought it was one officer period, but now I'm hearing and I'm seeing right here too. It says per day.
15-year-old Sebastian Rogers disappeared from his Sumner County home. Tonight, investigators say the search for Sebastian remains active. The teen vanished in February from his family's Hendersonville home. Organized searches have been held ever since, but still no sign of Sebastian. The acting Sumner County Sheriff says a detective has been dedicated to this case each day since Sebastian disappeared. And today, we spoke with Sebastian's father, Seth, who spent the last 6 months trying to uncover the truth of his son's disappearance.
As a father, you realize that a lot of things that you do in life is for your children. When they just go missing, the only thing you think about is trying to find them, bringing them home. Everything else is really not important.
Residents plan to hold a vigil for Sebastian later this month to keep hope alive.
I can't imagine. Can't imagine what that would feel like. So it's one per day. Now this is more about the restraining orders here.
Now, News 2 at 6.
A missing teen's mother claims she's being stalked and falsely accused by a YouTuber. So now she's taking legal action. Good evening and welcome to News 2 at 6. I'm Bob Mueller. 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers disappeared 5 months ago from his family's home in Hendersonville. The teen's mother has been granted a temporary order of protection against a Florida YouTuber by the name of Bullhorn Betty. Well, tonight, News 2's Caitlin Quisenberry sat down and spoke with the influencer.
Sebastian Rogers has not been seen since February 25th. Since then, the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, along with several other agencies, searched for a little over a week before officials said they were scaling back to focus their efforts on the investigative side. YouTubers and TikTokers nationwide have covered nearly every step. But now, Sebastian's mom, Katie Proudfoot, indicates it's gone too far. In a legal filing for an order of protection, Katie says Andrea Griffin, also known by her YouTube name of Bullhorn Betty, accused the family of harming their son while, quote, inciting the public and her followers to aid her in stalking. Katie calls the YouTuber, quote, dangerous. Andrea tells me she has not received the temporary order of protection, but claims she has not done anything illegal.
If it is from her, then that's absolutely a falsehood. They can go and look at all my lives. My lives never come down off my channel. Driving on a public property, on public road with a camera hanging out, there's nothing unlawful about that. That happened over a month ago. It was when it's the only time I've been in the Hendersonville area.
The questions of this case
are becoming more and more.
Andrea says her main goal is to provide informational content to the public and to help find Sebastian. She tells me these accusations are just a distraction.
I don't like the drama on the channel, and the more I resist the drama and keep it focused about Sebastian, the more these distractions keep coming up. This is all about Sebastian Rogers, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. It's not about Seth Rogers. It's not about Katie Proudfoot. It's not about Christopher Proudfoot. It's about where is Sebastian Rogers and how can we bring him home.
A court-ordered hearing is set for August 8th at the Sumner County Courthouse. Each of Bullhorn Betty's YouTube videos will be summarized for the DA's office. Until that time, a temporary restraining order says Andrea cannot stalk or come within 100 feet of Katie or her home. In Nashville, Caitlin Quisenberry, News 2.
Cannot stalk or come within so many feet. So, like I was saying, I thought she just drove up and down, and really, it's public property.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I mean, let's be honest. As much as it's an annoyance, it is public.
I think it's kind of like when people were claiming that you stepped on their property.
Never did.
I'm like, she never did either. But people are, are
Yeah.
going with the narrative.
Right? That is true. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me clarify. She never did on video. I know that. So.
I don't know if it varies state by state, but where I live, I don't know about the no trespassing sign, but you at least have you're allowed to go to someone's front door and knock on it.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
in my state.
Yeah. So
It's
I mean,
it's implied that you're allowed to hey, are you home? Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Right.
But
I mean, you wouldn't be allowed to protest if streets were personal property. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's
Now,
public.
like Busby said, that was just on camera. Who knows what, it could be a, some kind of false message that's being promoted on her side too. We don't know. I don't know. I watched that JLR live earlier, and I was like, I don't know. It seems like there's something way more than what is being out there on local news. So I'm sure we'll hear about it soon. I don't know. This has a video from Jay for Justice. I'm going to share her link here in a second. If you're not subscribed, this was a real lawyer reacts to the what Bullhorn Betty I guess is being why this whole thing is going down. So we'll see what they say with that one.
YouTubers and TikTokers nationwide have covered nearly every step, but now Sebastian's mom, Katie Proudfoot, indicates it's gone too far. In a legal filing for an order of protection, Katie says Andrea Griffin, also known by her YouTube name of Bullhorn Betty, accused the family of harming their son while, quote, inciting the public and her followers to aid her in stalking. Katie calls the YouTuber, quote, dangerous. Each of Bullhorn Betty's YouTube videos will be summarized for the DA's office. Until that time, a temporary restraining order says Andrea cannot stalk or come within 100 feet of Katie or her home.
Recently, they have tried to
cool.
put in an order of protection against.
If we have enough time, we are going to be going into this because I have this episode on the playlist for tonight.
Bullhorn Betty, who is a YouTuber. She's been involved in a lot of cases. And the point is she's gone to their campsite. I've seen, a lot of the footage. She's gone by their house. She certainly is doing this, I think, as a boots on the ground YouTuber. There's a lot of them out there that are trying to show people,
Really?
Look, he's lying. He says he's here, but he's really not here, blah, 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 blah. What do you think about this order that she's trying to get? And what do you think about social media YouTubers and so forth doing this sort of action?
So it's as nuanced and multifaceted as you can get. I'm a huge fan of citizen journalism. Citizens are really the best witnesses for what happens in life, and they're a necessary part because they're the corpus that makes up our communities.
Exactly.
So you have to have their involvement, and a more involved community, the better. I wish everybody could name their local judges. I just wish they didn't name them because of the mistakes that the judges had made. I think everybody should know who their chief of police is, just not because they kept on some people that probably shouldn't be cops anymore. People really should be involved in their community. Unfortunately, this is not what's happening with where the line is between community organizers and interested notable people and the outright harassment of private people. That's a tough line to draw. And I've seen it in lots of different cases, and I've seen all the different justifications. Oh, I'm just the press I'm just a private concerned citizen about these dangerous people in my community. Reverse roles, because that's what a judge is going to do. And the judge is going to look at someone and say, hey, this family has suffered a crime. Their child is missing. A bad thing happened. What is the public doing to them? And what are the specific actions that are being complained about when it comes to something like a protective order?
Terry Bowersox. Terry Bowersox, right there. Came up and decided to take my plate on.
What? She cut out.
So you want to know who's harassing who out here? The proof is in the pudding. The Bowersox and the Proudfoots are the ones coming and harassing people. That right there, my friend, is Terry Bowersox. Came by and took a picture.
Yeah, but you're on a freaking live, dude.
Why are you taking my license plate?
Why are you filming me?
Because you came by and filmed me, Mr. Bowersox.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm in a public place.
Yes.
Why are you harassing me and following me? Why are you harassing me and following me when I'm
She got out of her
conducting business?
vehicle.
How can I be following you?
What?
You just were in the plaza. You've been following me, sir. You guys have been harassing me and threatening me for 2 days.
Prove it.
I am right here, sir. Right here, sir.
Sounds like road rage.
She got the F out.
Yeah, you can't do
Yeah.
that.
Dude, like, and
I
you're
forgot.
live. She zoomed in on their shit, too. Take a photo back. You know what I
Like,
mean?
Does Tennessee have a stand your ground law?
Oh,
That could have went south.
Yeah, it could have actually, dude, because I
the wrong
think they
person.
do.
You roll up on the wrong person like that, and they feel threatened, like
Yeah.
you're trying to get in their
I
vehicle or
think-
something.
I think with Tennessee, it's correct me if I'm wrong. If anybody knows, I think with Tennessee, you're able to come back. Like you have to have equal weapons in order for it to be justified or something.
Yeah.
Like so, if one person has a knife, you can't have a gun. You
Right.
gotta, with a knife kind of thing. What the hell, man? She got up and just straight. Wow, I'm sorry, Kitty. I think she fell back asleep. She got out of her freaking car, dude, and she was screaming. So Katie Proudfoot, was Katie in that? Kitty, no. Was Katie in
Tennessee
that?
does have a stand your ground law.
They do.
Yep.
So he could have just
just-
rolled down his window and
Or door check the heck out of her onto the ground. Either way.
Yeah, it could have went bad quick.
man, especially after she started screaming. This is crazy.
Yeah, I did just prove it, asshole.
But she's behind them.
Better go through that fucking light.
Whoa.
Fuck with me. I don't
Unless
need
they
fights.
passed her or something.
I'll capture you on
Oh.
film. Prove it. There it is. Who's following? Who's stalking? Who's harassing? Now, you gotta
Whoa.
write yourself a lawsuit, Mr. Bowersox.
A protective order in all
Whoa.
50 states is a civil order. It is a quasi-criminal order because it's
What?
So right before that instance happened, she was sitting in a parking lot, and he drove up behind her, took a photo of her license plate,
Okay.
and then she followed him.
Okay.
But she knew who they were though already.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how that.
Well, yeah, because she was live, so like these people, they know,
Yeah,
when-
they know the location.
They know where you're at based off of your what's on the camera. So they obviously knew where she was at and just pulled up behind. They're
Some
probably
pe-
watching. They watch the damn shows when they're out there doing it too.
Some people say that he was shopping and she saw his vehicle and stayed in the same parking lot, is what I've seen.
Oh. gotcha.
So it was started reversed.
Yeah.
If that's true, I don't know if you
She
know
was
what
at the
footage.
store
Yeah.
watching him. Wow.
Allegedly, that's what I've
For
heard.
what? You know what I'm saying? How's that going to lead you to Sebastian? I don't
know.
understand it. Well, I mean, according to JLR, like there's supposedly payments from Tony to her, maybe to her for her to go do this stuff. I mean, hell, I think he paid for her truck to get fixed to come out to Hendersonville, right? Because her truck needed fixed to get out there. Didn't they raise money to get her truck fixed?
Briefly heard something about that, but I'm not sure. Yeah,
How much did Seth pay for that?
Yeah.
How much did Tony get from Seth for it? Hey,
Exactly.
we need her out. We need her out here. She's going to make a huge difference for this case. I guarantee it. All right, here's a couple thousand.
Anybody see the body cam footage of her?
Of BHB?
Yeah. It's just drama. You don't have to bring it up.
Jeez. What, from another case?
From her,
Or
and
from here?
her and her husband, but there just happened to be a out, and the police were like, "Why is that out?" I didn't watch the whole thing, but and then I think she said that she was gonna him something like that. There's a video of some anyway, and I was just
Nah,
like,
I'm
so
good.
she's always talking about that. I'm gonna say it on YouTube,
What?
but
That's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, that's another that's like a lounge conversation.
Yeah. Sorry.
Dang, man, that's crazy.
Just
We'll have
like-
to, dude. If you can find it though, we'll have to hang out at the lounge some night, and then we'll commentate on it. All right?
I'll find it.
'Cause we could do that shit at the lounge. That's that's where that's where you have your drinks and you just kick back, have your cigars.
Her husband he was kicking back, chilling, and then she wanted him to leave.
Right, Yoli? That's a lounge combo.
That's
We do
bad.
need to have one of those. That would be fun. We do. That would be fun. I haven't done anything at the lounge for a long time. All right. Here, we'll check out some more of this.
It's a civil order
That's
that
crazy.
results in criminal sanctions
nuts.
if it's violated. And remember how most of them are going to be couched. It's couched from what the listener, the petitioner who asked for that order, how they feel. Not the intent of the actor being complained against, but how reasonable is it for the petitioner holder of that restraining order, protective, or whatever you want to call it? How do they reasonably interpret the actions that have caused them to ask for this remedy?
Going to stop, and everything that they've done to try to silence me is only going to make my voice even louder on this platform and other platforms related to the Sebastian Rogers case. What they did was totally stupid. It put them in liability, but more importantly, I'm pretty sure this is going to get around to Nina, and quite frankly, I think it might just be a little too dangerous for, poor little Faith to be around, the Bowersox home or the Proudfoot's home. I mean, it seems like it's a dangerous situation out there, right? People agree. I mean, we got a dangerous situation here. Their lives are in danger here. At both places that poor little Faith would be staying. It just seems really, really bad. It just seems like a bad optic. Whenever you're trying to get custody or visitation with your child, it just seems like it's bad optics, right? So I don't know if she's learning about this or she will be learning about this, but it just sounds like it's awfully too dangerous for Faith. I definitely would be very, very, very concerned about that for sure. With all the craziness and the crazy YouTubers threatening their life and stuff, it just seems a little too dangerous for a little girl. That's all I'm saying. Obviously the household was a little too dangerous for a boy, a 15-year-old boy, long before we even got here. So, now that things are heating up and there's these deranged YouTubers running loose in the community, I would be, if I was Nina, I'd be so concerned about this, her child. So we'll see how this all plays out with the custody situation that's going on. But, it sounds like it's really dangerous over at the Bowerstocks. Probably not the best place for Faith to be. It sounds like it's pretty dangerous over at the Proudfoot's house, according to everything that they're making statements about allegedly.
And guess what? Going by their house, harassment, intimidation.
Driving on a public property, on public road with a camera hanging out. There's nothing unlawful about that. That happened over a month ago. It was when it's the only time I've been in the Hendersonville area.
Going online and screaming their name and attaching a whole bunch of people and frothing about, man, Judge Josh finds that pretty intentionally harassing. And if your job, whether you want to call it is to gain clicks through saying whatever is possible, I'm going to find that harassing, especially if you're doing it with a pecuniary intent where you're making any kind of money. And that's really where I get wound up against some of these people on the inner tubes, is because let's just cut to, they don't care. They care about clicks. They care about explosive, salacious allegations not based in truth, and digging up gotcha photographs and statements and misconstruing and mispresenting so that people in their ever hungering need to not be in trouble and to point out how other people are bad because it reflects on their own insecurities inside, they're going to go click on that stuff and generate revenues through advertising. So I fully support these families who are somehow connected to a tragedy exercising their rights to have the state protect them from the inherent harassment and abuse that some scrutiny brings. But where's that line? And I don't have a great read on where that line exactly is, because it's up to the petitioner. It's up to the Proudfoot. It's up to the Seth to get up there and say, hey, this is the person who's harassing me. This is the way the harassment is taking place. But I absolutely feel that these protective orders are valid. I'm already consulting and talking about different ways to go sue different producers of media because of some of the stuff that we've encountered from certain people on the internet. Because guess what? I get complaints about that person said this, and most of the time I'm like, no, I'm staying out of it. There are a couple that are really above and beyond the pale and are violating, in my opinion, and 12 people. I'll put it in front of 12 people. I'll ask 12 people, is that person, that content creator, are they doing this for legitimate reasons? Or are they intentionally harassing, abusing, intimidating these private citizens? And more importantly, are they interfering with law enforcement investigation?
Ooh,
that's really what some of these people have done by.
Not
true.
just her, but like this almost sets like a precedence, because it's all about like interpretation, like on how people perceive things.
Oh yeah.
So like, I don't know. I just hate to see anything bad happen, because it almost sets a precedence for the whole thing. Because then you could just say that, oh, they're harassing me again. I don't know.
Well, yeah, but look at what she did in.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want.
You know what I'm saying? They had to change laws. It's not a. This guy wasn't saying it when we were out there. You know what I mean? He's saying it when she's out there, and the other content creators. I don't know who he's talking about, because I don't know. I haven't been there for 3 months, so I have no idea who's been out there other than, the circle searchers and the people that are recreating, videos that have already been done. Other than that, I don't know who else is. I haven't heard anybody out there causing any issues or anything.
There's probably more random people we don't even know about.
I mean, and if you're talking about people talking about the case, we're talking about like how is anything any of us are talking about incorrect?
Right. And every time you turn around, there's a new channel that just picked up the case and they're doing their spin on it and everything else. They've never even been, or they don't even live near there.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that aren't informed that will just pop
Run
off
with
at
the
the mouth
narrative.
and have diarrhea of the mouth, you know.
Jumping on the bandwagon.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't know. Well, I've never seen JLR be disrespectful to anybody out there. In fact, you know, the grandma tried doing the same shit to me.
Right.
That she's done to other creators and has been doing on Facebook, and he brought to light that, like, everybody thought, oh no, she didn't. Oh, bullshit. You see the stuff she was out there pushing before she even came across my search?
Right.
Like, see what the hell she was typing and the stuff she was saying. It was a narrative and a lot of, I mean, there are a lot of toxic stuff being said. Nobody was being toxic back then.
Yeah, she was.
She was being toxic as hell.
Yeah, she was on a roll back then. It didn't matter what chat you went into. She was there saying something.
Mm-hmm. So he's right. And you know, it is scary, man. Like, hopefully it's separated between those kind of actions, because there's a lot of us out there that are
like
about
if it's
the right way.
If it's legit,
Yeah.
absolutely. I just
Yeah.
don't want people to have like a way out. If I don't know if they.
I don't want.
Yeah, to make it easier for people not to be able to have that freedom of speech.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And I don't want people to think all YouTubers are that way.
No.
You know, it's not about the clicks and views for some of us.
No, or we'd be on here. Yeah.
It's about the right thing, you know. That's why we're here tonight. We're bringing awareness to it and discussing these things. Like here, right? Like this one, we're gonna check out. Again, it's another J for Justice video. I'm gonna drop her link in chat. And this is like Dog the Bounty Hunter and his thoughts on the case. And this was from I think a couple weeks ago, but I saved it because I thought, you know, when I heard it, I was like, yeah, exactly. Like that's exactly how I feel.
When I heard Dog say that, I'm like,
it just makes it's common sense.
Couldn't have said it better. And I'm like, I'm kind of more afraid to say certain things.
I've been watching Dog the Bounty Hunter since his first episode on TV. And this man's smart.
That's what I'm saying. He's worked that life. Like he's lived that life. Like he knows people.
Yeah.
It's just common sense. Oh, hold on one second.
Not for some.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure.
Tennessee, 15 years old, hasn't taken his medication. And it's very odd, Dog. I mean, they have searched thousands of miles. They've had drones. They've searched waterways. It's insane. I mean, there's volunteers. No trace of him on camera. Allegedly, no dogs have picked up his scent. What gives?
Well, I can only say by the years of investigating, same thing. Usually a family member had done something. You know, usually there is a dump ground, your trash dump ground nearby, or a lake. Lie detector tests don't work. Well, they do use them. They don't work on certain individuals. I think the parents, anybody close to him, take a lie box. If they volunteer, okay, I'll take it. Then, you know, they take it, they pass. Well, it doesn't matter anyway. Yeah, So where you start with autistic kids is the family members, because it's hard to raise an autistic kid. It is hard, quadruple hard than a kid that is not autistic. So start with the family. And Nancy Grace, I never met her, but she used to speak at a bail bonds convention for us. And that happened to be that day I was sick, but she's a very good investigator. So she usually comes up with stuff, you know, but I would say there's a family member or even a neighbor that is just, you know, and they'll, how young was the boy?
He's 15.
Yeah. So without leaving a site, that means somebody, you know, dumped him somewhere and it's very sad. There's a show on A&E called 48 Hours.
Yeah.
And after 48 hours, 90% of people missing, age, gender, and all that have been have been killed. So when you find nothing, and like dogs don't get a scent, bloodhounds and all that, every single time the person is passed away or they've been killed and disposed of.
I kept on trying to interrupt you because I actually could not believe that you don't know this case and you stated all of that.
Right.
I mean, if you have time, everything you just said is what has made this case so contentious. The stepdad and the mom are being looked at because they did not speak out on the news asking people for help with their child for about 7 days. The stepdad appears to have some odd language. They actually left for a while, the second or third week of the search. And then as far as the lie detector test goes, mom already took a polygraph. Allegedly, and I was on the Nancy Grace episode, I was on the panel when she asked stepdad to take it. He challenges her with this phrase and says, name the time and the place. And then all of a sudden, the TBI, or per him, the TBI says, oh, you're not allowed to take it. Well, what? This doesn't make sense. And then it's such a mess. I cannot believe you said that.
Let me tell you, you can Google this to find it out. Google is sometimes everyone's worst enemy. If you take a Valium, one blue Valium, if you drink a certain downer, you can pass any lie detector test because it slows your heart down a little bit.
Yep, beta blockers, benzos. Oh, trust me, we discussed this.
Yeah.
Whoa, like you can literally what?
Yep. Mic drop.
Beta blockers. What?
This guy's real smart.
Man, that's crazy.
Yes. And you said the landfill or the dump site. Oh, they already checked a Kentucky landfill because that's where the trash goes in Tennessee. And according to one of the guys that dumps the trash or something, he felt something, and that's what indicated or was an indication that maybe they should go look there. So they did, and they didn't find anything. And that's why I got chills. I'm like, God, you're good. Like, you literally didn't even know this case. After this, or when you're done your interviews, you should look up Sebastian Rogers. You're going to be like, holy crap. Okay, that was Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Huh.
A Hendersonville man
All
is
right, here's this real
found
quick.
guilty of 54 counts related to sexual
Oh, my Lord,
exploitation of a
54.
minor. In 2022, Hendersonville detectives searched Jay Chandler's home, where they seized several electronic devices. Those revealed thousands of images showing the sexual abuse of children. Today, a Sumner County judge found Chandler guilty. He could face up to 416 years in prison. Chandler also has 2 other pending cases, which will soon be set for trial.
Jeez, that's just something that came out when was this? 7 days ago.
Yep.
It's horrible.
He don't live that far.
Man. No, and then like you said, Busby, what'd you say? 283?
283 people last time I counted.
That's horrible. That's crazy though. Beta blockers. He's like, that blue lithium? Yeah. You could easily pass a lie detector. Slows your heart rate. What the hell?
Yep. That's back to military people know how to pass them too. So.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that's what Yoli. I'm potty training her, so that's why I left the little turds in there, because I'm trying to get her to go in to the kitty litter. So those turds right there were actually on the carpet. Okay. I'm trying to potty train her because I don't want all of those on the carpet. I want them in the kitty litter, so she's supposed to smell it. Yeah, she's supposed to smell it. And I mean, look, I'm giving her, she's got a little bottle of milk right here. You want some more, honey? You want some more? This is Court TV with Vinny now. he didn't know that Seth wasn't cleared. So have you guys seen this? Have you seen
His
it?
reaction to that was crazy.
So he thought Seth was cleared. And then all of a sudden he's like, okay. I don't know if he really ended it abruptly because it's still Kitty. No, that's no. It's still 45 minutes long. So that really, if you add commercials to it, it is an hour. It is an hour program. So I don't know if I think it was more just a shock.
It is a little strange though. Right after he found that out.
Yeah. Well, because I want to try and get into this one too, the post show with Vinny, because Vinny, it didn't end up on Court TV because I was looking for it like crazy. This is on Facebook. So if you don't have it, here's the link to it. Actually had to go on Facebook to watch it. And then the next day he did a show saying, why is Seth not cleared? So I figured we would check that out too. Now, depending on time, there's still SF Investigates. There's still Jennifer Coffindaffer, but we'll always do that in the next show that we have for Sebastian here soon. If we're not able to get into those tonight. But I for sure want to get into this one with Seth and Tony, and then Vinny's post show of what his reaction is. Because I think we're going to know more of what he was thinking when we see what's going to take place in this episode.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Hold on one second. Oh, damn it.
I'm Vinny Politan. The subject of my investigation is an awesome 15-year-old boy from Tennessee. His name is Sebastian Rogers. He's a child with autism, and he is missing. Now, there are a lot of questions that need to be answered in this case. Here's more of Sebastian's story.
Inside this beautiful neighborhood in Hendersonville, Tennessee, there is an unsolved mystery. It was a Sunday night going into a Monday morning, and 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers was supposed to be inside his home sleeping. His mother, Katie Proudfoot, says he went to bed at 9, but was making some noise around 10, including a thud sound. Katie told him to go to sleep. She went to bed at midnight. Then at 6 a.m., Katie woke up. She went to his room to get him ready for school, but Sebastian was gone. She searched the house, and he was nowhere to be found. Sebastian's stepdad, Chris Proudfoot, was not home, and Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, was at work about 45 minutes away. Police responded and began trying to figure out what happened. That was February 26, 2024. And as the days, weeks, and months have passed, still no sign of Sebastian, no sign of foul play, and no answers about what happened. Did someone harm Sebastian, or did he just walk away? We're searching for answers as we investigate the mysterious disappearance of Sebastian Rogers.
From the beginning, this case has not made a lot of sense because of the lack of evidence, the lack of leads. I want you to take a look, though, at the original Amber Alert in this case, because I think it's significant. The Amber Alert went out, issued on behalf of the Sumner County Sheriff's Office for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Sebastian is a 15-year-old white male, 5'5" tall, 120 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. Sebastian was last seen on February 26th, 2024, in the area of Stafford Court in Hendersonville, Tennessee. February 26th. That's the last time he has been seen. So what's going on right now? You know, we profile missing children all the time, every night. So my question right now is anyone still searching for Sebastian? Let me bring in my special guest, someone I know is still searching. Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, is with us, and also joining us, the Rogers family spokesperson, Tony Mathis. Thank you both for being here. Appreciate the opportunity to speak with you and the opportunity to speak about Sebastian. Seth, let me begin with you. Is anyone still searching for your missing son?
I am. I have a private investigator that's still working on it. She conducts her searches in private. She has her own volunteer base. We're not going to stop until we find it.
Let me ask you this, Seth. Outside.
Who's the new private investigator? I missed it.
Nobody knows.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Nobody knows?
No, I don't even know. The last time I knew, there was like the drama and people were just gone or let go.
What did he make TL the the PI? Is that?
I have no idea. I mean, there's licensing and education. I don't know. It depends on.
He could have just said, "Well, it's how doctors aren't always a doctor."
You got a point.
They're just called doctor. So,
he said she. I think didn't he?
Yeah, he said she.
So it's a she, which would be. I don't know.
Not. It'd be a good Ricola commercial.
Ricola.
At this point, it could be anybody.
I mean, he could have said she just to say, the opposite or something too. I don't know.
True.
Unless there's stuff going on I don't know about.
I don't. Yeah, because I just know Tony. Oh, is it? What is he calling her? Is he calling her? He's calling BHP, BHB the PI.
Dude, it could be.
I bet you it is.
I don't know.
Well, then it's not Ricola anymore. But you get what I'm saying, right, Busby? Ricola.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But I was wondering, you ever
Easter egg?
Tell somebody something like, "Hey, I'm out," but then I don't know how to explain that one. Like to make people go away, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I don't know. I don't even know how to put it.
I don't know. None of it makes sense to me. Honestly.
Yeah, if you're gone long enough from a certain situation.
Yeah, if I've been out of that search, so they
stop
could
watching.
People could have said anything and then been like, "Okay, now we're clear." I don't know. That's a lot of. I don't really think that happened because there was pretty good feelings. Like people were pretty upset.
Oh yeah.
So I don't think that happened.
The majority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know who the PI is that he's speaking of. I just hope that they're actually licensed. Because I know in Illinois you got to have either a law enforcement background, education.
Yeah.
You can't just go around and be like, "I'm a PI."
Right. Yeah. You got to have some kind of.
Ground.
You got to go through laws and all that stuff. You got to know the laws and all that.
But how many PIs does that make them go through?
A lot.
Yeah, but PIs are a dime a dozen, bro. You could literally pay some dollar bills and go through a course.
Well, yeah.
It's basically as quick as you can learn the laws of whatever state you're doing it in.
We're gonna be the hot dog steak PI.
Yeah, I mean we could. We
could do it.
We'll get the T-shirts and
be like, "Who are you?" Like, oh.
I was waiting for somebody to say hot
dude.
dog.
We could buy an old used Oscar Mayer Wiener mobile and repaint it.
Oh, on the
hot dogs.
National
Investigations.
Yeah.
The Oscar Mayer Wiener mobile is going to be in town next week.
We'll just call it HDS Investigations. So. And then people go, what is HDS? Hot dog steaks. Oh, okay, I got you. Okay. We definitely needed a used wiener mobile, for that damn thing, though, because people got to know. They got to say, "Oh, there's that hot dog steak coming down Main Street." That's right.
Hey, you need to call Oscar Mayer and see if you can sell them that.
Oh hell no, dude! I wouldn't want to own one of them things anyway. I don't know. It's got to be like really tiny in there. I would think. Right?
I've seen
Yeah.
it.
Hold on a minute. Just to address chat, we don't think that it's funny that Sebastian's missing. We're
Oh,
just
who said
making
that?
Oh, who said
someone in chat on
We're
my
talking
chat.
about Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
It says Sebastian is loved by his dad. It's not funny. He's still missing. So we're just making light of a dark situation.
Right.
Just for like 5
They
seconds.
live in a dark place. They live in a dark place already. Because you got to have a balance. There's a yin
you
and a
can't
yang.
just be. Yeah,
know
you
what I
can't just
mean?
be.
It's-
If I was just doom and gloom the entire time, wouldn't be able to get out of bed.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be able to stay focused, stay as positive as you can.
Yeah, everything's gonna be all right tomorrow. Personally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And always, it's not my feelings to feel.
That'd be a miserable life.
Yeah, it would be.
Well, you got to have a balance. Otherwise, you go in a dark place yourself.
Exactly.
You got to know how to. You got to responsibly, because a lot of people might not be able to handle some stuff. So you got to know your own limits. There's a responsibility with yourself. Responsibility with yourself. To make sure that you don't head down that dark place either. You know your own limits, and people know their own limits more than anybody else. Everything's gonna be all right. It's not gonna rain every day, and you got to have a balance, huh?
I had to back away from this case for a little while because I was going down that way.
Yep.
Consuming me.
Oh yeah. I mean, hell, there was a period where I think I had to take a couple week break, right, Seth? Where I had to take a couple week break, just because there's some cases I would go to attempt to cover it and I couldn't cover it. I know my limits too when it comes to certain cases I can cover and I can't, because some of them, it'll bring back bad memories and stuff like that. So, I mean, in hell, we have our own channels, so we really have to, we really have to watch our mental health, because not only we're like going and seeing everything that everybody else does, but at the same time, we're getting into stuff that we don't even discuss with the public when it comes to the things that we're, the stuff that we have to look at as plausible and information and things like that. I mean, hell, even when like we're out on a boat and stuff and we see something sketch, and then it's like, man, you got to prepare yourself. There's just a different level. Huh?
Whenever we went to Nashville or Hendersonville that last time, I had prepared myself for like 2 or 3 days before that. What if we find this or that?
Yeah.
How am I going to handle it? You got to just compartmentalize everything.
Yeah.
So everybody needs a break. It's just your mind can't take all that all the time.
Well, it's important to have a balance too.
Right.
And that's
Definitely
part
gotta
of
have a balance.
It's part of being responsible, is making sure that you got to realize that otherwise you'll end up in a dark spot, and that's the last thing anybody needs to go to, is a dark spot.
Right.
That's why we have fun here at the same time, because we need to make sure that everybody is balanced, and it's that even flow. So no, I feel bad for. Why wouldn't anybody feel bad? If you don't even have to be a parent to see that there's pain. I mean, can you imagine? I couldn't. I couldn't imagine it.
No, I couldn't imagine. I don't want to imagine.
No. Not only a child, but anybody in your life.
Yep.
It could. I don't know if. Hey, come here. All right, we'll get back into this.
Of what you are doing, is this search still active? Let's talk about law enforcement.
From my understanding, law enforcement is still searching. They're doing it privately as well. They're just checking in on tips when they come in. If we get tips, we pass them on to them. Same time we get them.
And how is that part going with tips? Are people still providing information when they come across things? And what are your thoughts about?
We still get information. I mean, we still get emails every day. We have a tip site that is up. A PI put that up. It's a valid tip site for anybody who wants to email or call, wants to be anonymous or whatnot.
Tony, I wanted to bring you in the conversation. This is a difficult situation. And I understand the onslaught of public attention that this has gotten. And sometimes that's a big positive in keeping Sebastian's face in the public and getting people to know who he is and think about him. And if they see something, hopefully say something. But obviously there can be downsides as well. How is all of this publicity, from your perspective, impacting the search for Sebastian?
Well, we don't really believe that any of the media attention, social media attention, any of that is really going to impact what law enforcement's doing one way or another. It does impact the father, that I represent, Seth. We thank all the creators out there that continue to keep Sebastian's name out and do it in a positive way. Our message to most of the media attention, more social media than mainstream, is that, we ask that you cover the case in a positive way. If you choose not to do that and back away, that's okay too. But any positive support that we can get for Seth while he's looking for his son is a big deal for us.
And Seth, I know that during the course of all of this, there have been some potential leads that became very public, including a photograph of someone who seemed to resemble Sebastian at a rest stop in, I believe, North Carolina. How are you holding up through all of this? And where's your level of optimism right now?
I have faith. I have hope. Sebastian's alive. We just got to find him. There is nothing else. Just finding Sebastian.
Tony, I wanted to get you in on this as well, in terms of as a family spokesperson, do you feel that there is still the same level of, I guess, commitment from everyone, the community, law enforcement, media, to make sure that anything and everything is done to find this missing child?
Well, Vinny, I think that it's our job to keep his name out there in the community. All of our job on Seth's team, and of course I represent just Seth. It's all of our jobs on his team to keep the community engaged. We continue to have events, have vigils, have gatherings, keep his name out there. The media, mainstream media, such as yourself and many others, have been very good and very helpful. It's very easy to get interviews if Seth feels up to doing an interview. I think the X factor for us is law enforcement. I think that the communication, it's been a bit lacking, at least as far as Seth and I are concerned. We don't really know what it is they're doing. We have faith. We heavily back the blue. Of course, Seth is in law enforcement. I live in Oklahoma. We strongly back the blue in my community. But, the question that I always ask that we still haven't got an answer to is, just simply tell Seth, are you any closer today to figuring out what happened to Sebastian than you were on February 26th? And quite frankly, we feel like that's a very fair and logical question.
Dude, I'm so tired of hearing him saying that.
His voice gets just.
I'm getting
it's the same
so
damn
tired.
thing.
I'm getting so tired of it.
His voice is irritating as shit.
Oh my
We have
god.
one.
When he said tone loc, I laughed my ass off with mute on. I'm just letting you know. I saw tone loc. I was like, I started laughing my ass off. I'm tired of hearing him say that. I really am. I mean, it's the same damn question everybody's asked this whole time. And it's like, do you think any of the law enforcement is scared of you, bro?
No.
Not even a chance.
Don't you think they would come out and say something if they knew something? I would think. Like I said, you go back to common sense. What law enforcement wants any missing kid on the books?
None.
They got a lot. They got a lot of them. This guy, man, I don't know. It just ever since Pascal introduced him to Seth, it's like it just went downhill, man. The drama went skyrocket.
That's the truth.
The efforts went way down. Hell, it wasn't even safe for a lot of us to be around there anymore because of the toxic crap that got promoted from
yeah, it was bad.
Real bad, man. Real bad. I don't understand. What's up, Emmy? You got to come on panel sometime, Emmy. Send me an email. Nana, you too.
Hey, Emmy Joe.
It just I'd like to have Emmy and Nana on my Micah shows for real. Exploring the case, that'd be great to have you guys on some night. But it's just I don't know. It's like, what's the main question? I want to know what updates is there. We deserve to know, bro. The community deserves to know too. And I think Ellie would have said, "Yo, this is our new update," because they don't want Sebastian missing in the first place.
Does he think he's special or something? Demanding?
I think so. He pushed everybody else out, in my
Ego.
opinion.
Yeah, it's an ego.
Nobody else knows. I mean, what's so special about him?
Because he was promoted from another platform that has a high influence.
Yeah, and he kind of got his talons into Seth, is what happened.
Yeah, it's the ego thing, man. He got the ego built up from Caleb. What did he do there? Nothing. In fact, he made it worse. Where, like, what family fires their spokesperson? And that was your dad's friend from work. Right?
Yeah.
He's got more investment. So if the dad's friend from work gets fired because he ain't doing what he's telling people he's doing, and who knows what he's doing in the background. I mean, hell, you seen like the stuff that gets pushed, you know, when he's doing his TikTok lives and stuff. I mean, it's all a show, and he may not be getting paid from Seth, but it's still clout. And he's just going to go from one to the next to the next to the next. Unfortunately, I don't know. I don't see after he came out and said that the tip line was real when it was obviously a bunk website. You could be a teenage kid and go to the website and be like, this is fake as hell, yo. And he's sitting there promoting it like it's real. And then the whole story of Katie's mother being in contact with Sebastian in the morning, talking about how good his breakfast was.
Oh, that.
You know what I mean? Like that right there, I would have said, bro, get the F out.
Yep. Would have been gone.
Get the F out. Number one, you don't do your homework before you hop on a freaking live and start spewing all that. Number two, the fact that you spewed it. Like, how can I trust you anymore? If not, you're not going to only fact check, but you're not going to check your freaking mind at the door when it comes to the influence that you have when you're promoting the truth.
Exactly.
there's so many people that it's just about them, and it's disgusting when we're just about the victims and we're about truth and justice in the communities, and then you see this kind of stuff going on, and unfortunately it's like 90% of the people out there are that type where they're just snakes, and we're the ones that are actually out there in the tall grass doing what we're supposed to do, and we have to avoid these damn snakes in the tall grass that we can't see sometimes until they bite us on the shin, when we should be just being able to focus on the task at hand. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, this it's just turned into a big shit show with all the misinformation and everything else going around now.
It's horrible.
I used to never watch my back, to be honest, going out searching.
Yeah.
I never felt that I had to. And ever since all this broke out, it's like
you have to.
Just super paranoid all the time.
Oh,
Like, I've always had my head on a swivel. Don't get me wrong, but it's more heightened.
Yeah, I had y'all's back in Hendersonville.
Oh, we know, 150%.
I was, eyeballing everybody.
Yeah. You have to. You have to in order to. I mean, yeah, right. You're right, Narc. Like, you already have to have your mind on us. You basically have to have it before you even go out and do what you're doing. You have to be used to having your head on a swivel, because you really have to have it on a swivel out there. And then, like you're saying, when it comes to this case, same thing, man. Same thing, because we went from getting praised like crazy from Riley Strain's family, and then we go up just a little bit north, and all of a sudden it's like, what the hell is going on? This is like, it's like night and day, and I don't get it.
It's drastically changed. Like, it used to be like when you're looking or searching, you kind of, if there was foul play involved and you didn't realize it or know it at the time, you just kind of had to worry about maybe someone showing up trying to stop you from uncovering something that they did. That was like one mindset. But now it's just the randomness, like the random people out there that, I don't know.
Well, you already had to, because let's face it, we're covering and searching and looking for things that people don't want us to.
Exactly.
So there's already people out there that don't want you to succeed at what you're trying to do for help.
And they'll spit misinformation about us and the case and everything. And then we also have to be careful too. Like, people will say, hey, go look here, go check here, this exact spot.
Mm-hmm.
You never know if that's going to be a setup or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like people wanted me to go look into a storage building that I have no keys to. I'm like, no, ain't gonna happen. That's something for law enforcement. Tell them.
Yeah, tell them about it if it's something. If it has any information to it, they get a warrant and go search it.
Exactly. There's just people out there that'll just try to send you in the wrong place. There's people that are not telling the truth. There's people that are just completely making shit up.
Yep.
That's never even stepped foot in the state of Tennessee at all. And makes it hard to decipher, what's truth and what's lies.
Yeah. Yeah, because you don't know if it's going to be a setup, and it's like we're all about the reason we're all here is because we want truth and justice, and we want these things to stop happening. That's why we bring awareness to it. It's about, even if that one person that's about to commit that horrific act, sits there and is like, wait, man, maybe I could get away with this 10 years ago, but people are on it nowadays, you're still making a difference, even with just awareness. So I don't know. I'm just tired of Tony saying the same thing over and over. Anytime there's an interview, we want to know what's going on. What can we have for an update? What can you tell us? It's like, dude, It's all a show for you.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to be the voice for Seth. Or
Right.
the PR person for Seth.
Are the old ones, do you know this, Trey? Are the old ones still out there? I know, like, after they left.
I know that people were going to search on their own, but
I thought they were. They were still searching,
Yeah.
even though.
But I haven't heard anything because I don't communicate with everybody like I should.
Were they local? Were they local? I don't remember. I thought they were, but
I don't know the whole relationship thing. I know one person wasn't really local. Like local, but like closer than what closer
Right.
than us,
Right.
obviously. So I guess
Yeah.
you could say local enough.
Right.
But I mean, they were supposed to keep searching, but I haven't heard anything because I don't communicate with them just because there's really no reason to communicate unless
Right.
they
There's
need
an
something.
update there's unless there's something to go off of but yeah, I was just curious because I remember they were a while back, but I haven't seen or heard anything from them. And who
Dude, I
knows
haven't heard
how long,
nothing.
No. Yeah. Yeah. So, and I mean, what else is Tony supposed to say? But what I'm saying is why keep making it like they're hiding something from you?
They're not.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it's about. That's why I'm getting annoyed because it's like, dude, they're obviously not.
Dude, he's
trying to
built.
hide nothing. Like,
He's building it, whether Seth knows it or not. Like the whole protest or whatever you want to call it. But even if that wasn't mentioned, there's like he's been building a tension, like between the police and them. Like if they were ever gonna give information or something.
listen to the crap he was releasing as
Yeah.
truth, man. I wouldn't want to talk to him either because then you're going to tell him something and then he might twist it.
Yep.
And turn it, and then all of a sudden you got to answer for it. I wouldn't want to. That's a loose cannon, man. That's a weak link. I wouldn't want to. No way. I wouldn't want him being part of an investigation because how can you trust him? I couldn't.
I could.
Not
I'd be
after
like, I would just be like, you're fired. Although you can't.
Hell yeah.
You can't talk for me anymore. I may not be able to talk the best, but I'm not gonna say.
Even as a spokesperson.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's going to see this and then he's going to get all pissed off and want to slap people and shit. That's what he does. But it's the truth. It's the damn truth, man. Like,
oh, I mean,
what spokesperson puts out that information without making, come on, man, without making sure it's real or not? And then you're promoting something like it's real and you even have people in your chat and on panel going, Tony, it's fake. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Spreading
Dude, not aware. You got to be aware, You got to read the atmosphere because this is like when you boil it down, these parents are missing their kids. So the more you want to run amok, the more it creates negative vibage. And who needs that? They already have enough to deal with. It's one thing if it's your family or something, because, that's emotion's emotion. But, man, when it's a spokesperson, you're supposed to, like, be the filter.
Yeah, you're supposed to be the buffer.
Right.
Kind of bring a light to things.
Let me respond to this, Mike MX1. No, there's no way in hell that Sebastian's getting on the roof of Beach High School.
What? On the roof?
He asked if there was a possibility Sebastian got on the roof and was stuck against the big vent in the back of the school. No, it's not possible. Not possible at all.
Well, I would imagine they have some kind of surveillance in the school, right?
They got cameras in the school, and the access to the roof is in the school. I mean, unless he had a 20-foot ladder, which I think somebody would see him going down the road with that walking. There's no way in hell that happened.
And that's the unfortunate part. There's nothing since he was first reported missing, and leaves the door open for those possibilities to happen, to where somebody could be like, hey, is he on the roof? I mean, it's sad. It's really sad.
Yeah, we have had nothing.
Nothing. So I don't know what more they would tell Tony when it comes to what he's requesting. And this is not new. It's like interview after interview after interview. It's the same thing. Well, they're hiding something. I'm sorry, dude.
If they are building a case against somebody, they're not going to say part of their information, because then that screws the case.
Well, that too. And it could definitely be, I mean, if you look at what's going on, it definitely could be trafficking. Let's be honest.
Oh, easily.
You know,
some people don't want to believe that, but
The I-40 corridor right there close by, yeah, it's a very good possibility.
I mean, you just gotta, it's, you know, you hate to think it, but this is why we do what we do, so we can bring awareness and those people stop doing what they're freaking doing, you know?
there's so much short story, just a very short. Each person that is brought into that, I think they make over, like, whoever controls them can bring in over $250,000 per person.
For what?
For, if they traffic someone.
Oh, yeah.
If they
What,
use them for
dark web and all that, yeah.
whatever they use them for, but
I mean,
I mean,
if you go back to what Dog the Bounty Hunter was saying, he said, the parents are suspects, or should be. And then he said, water. Well, if you've ever been to Hendersonville, there's a shitload of water.
Yeah, there's a lot of water.
Oh, yeah.
And there's 2 great big lakes within, 20 minutes of the area. I mean, you can get to both of them. So, and both of them are huge. I mean, they got endless opportunities in those lakes.
Yeah, but we're talking 6 months. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that he would be intact.
No, I'm just saying we're, and that's the thing. There is no sign whatsoever.
Nope.
And there should be.
Oh yeah.
There should be. That's why I feel, and will always feel until there is some update, that there's a reason the video games system wasn't given back.
Right.
I feel, I don't want to think he's gone either. Hopefully somebody just has him, and
now that it's such a big case that they're really
I mean,
yeah.
It's like when I go back to, like when I was in Akron and up in Cleveland, there was 3 missing girls, and they all had vigils every year at different times, and nobody knew that they were taken together.
Oh.
And then all of a sudden one day, the older one is able to slip out the front door or out the window and scream for a neighbor to come help. And all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, these 3 girls that were having vigils every year, and who knew that they were even taken together? They were all together. And so, and that's what it makes me think of. Like, there's no signs. There's nothing. It's just completely vanished. To me, that says lured and taken.
I mean, for him to be still alive, that would be the best outcome. I would hate to see or hear what he's gone through. But he would be still alive. That'd be the best outcome. But in my mind, there's a lot of scenarios that are still on the table.
Well, because there is nothing since what was reported that morning. That's it. Like with the dog hit, Trey.
Yeah.
What exactly? I'm still confused if there was or wasn't. You know what I mean? Because
You
it's
know,
like, okay,
I
there
don't
was
want to say
multiple.
I don't want to say law enforcement or emergency management or whoever. Gotta tread
Not
lightly.
trained properly.
Not even that. I just I hate going back and forth with it, but somebody's lying somewhere, and I don't know who it is.
Yeah.
The dogs are. I mean,
Yeah.
we've looked for a guy before that was in a pond, or not in a pond. I'm sorry. I'm gonna reverse this. We searched the pond, nothing. We're like, it's clear, and then people give us a bunch of crap because we found a boat and pulled it out of the water. And they're like, "You just disturbed a crime scene, all this stuff." I'm like, "What part have I told you 150%? There's no one in this pond." He was found not even half a mile in the woods. There were multiple searchers, drones, dogs. The dogs never hit on anything, and he was half a mile in. But for the dogs to get in trouble. But if the dogs went for a specific sin article, if I knew that for sure, like if the dogs said, like if Katie said, "Hey, here's a T-shirt, here's his bed," actually the dogs could just the canine officer, if the dog's trained right, could have the dog go to the bed and then give the command, like where he sleeps at. Wouldn't even have to be a scent or a straw or whatever he drank from last. Those dogs, and the dog would go. You can tell when the dog's working and has a scent because they
Yeah.
will go, go, go.
Focus.
Yeah, and then for the dog to jump in the pond, I think in the back of my head, I think the dog, well, multiple dogs actually did follow a trail, the actual scent. If they used an article to do that, a specific article, which would have had Sebastian's scent on it. And then going back for the dog to jump in the darn pond, so like water carries scent. So it could have been, I don't know exactly forwards or backwards, but water carries scent. So whether it was bringing it down or the scent was coming up. I mean,
or coming up, yeah.
Yeah, like give or take. I'm not 100% sure how that works. I'm not, a canine handler, but
then he would have been on.
Yeah.
He would have been on
camera.
Yeah, security cam.
That's why the whole damn thing just.
That's why when I went through there, I listened to the 911 call, or the chatter, between the different officers. That's why I came up with the map that I came up with, because it's like, look, if with all these cameras, I didn't realize how many cameras were there until I went there. Right. And then I seen all the security cameras on that neighborhood. I'm sitting there going, how in the hell does anything go towards that? Even that construction area right there, that whole line, that whole street has cameras that would have caught him walking through the yard or going up there and crossing the street and going into the construction development just to get to the pond. Or if he was any of the whole street, man, up to the stop
Anywhere.
sign. You know what I mean? Like, it just, there would have to be footage.
I think there would have to be footage. Also, I would also like to see, like, obviously there's a bunch of people, bunch of responding units. I would have loved to see the camera angles of the officers, the dogs, and then all the squad cars going through the neighborhood, just to see how those cameras pick things up. And if they're recording, there's, the neighbors should have had footage of all that, give or take. But no one ever released anything besides the trash truck.
Yeah. And yeah, it may be dark, but still, you can still say, oh, there was a figure going across the street at such and such time. Even if it is dark, you can still, it's not going to be a definitive, so-and-so, but still, you see a figure, you see a time, you have a timeline, you put the pieces together, and then,
it would help make sense.
Right. And so when it came to the footage, it's not that nobody had cameras. They just said they didn't have anything on their footage.
Yeah.
So, and that's what you'll hear, when you hear that chatter back and forth, that this house or home had surveillance, but there was nothing on it or whatever.
Yeah, they should have had something on it. It may not 100% pertained. I would have took all the footage.
Something.
You know,
You would have, like, and if you did have a figure, why wouldn't you turn it in? You know,
Yep.
Because what if it was your child or your grandbaby or your friend's child? If you don't have one, you know, like it's another human being. You know?
Exactly.
It didn't make sense. All right, we'll get back to this here. This is when Seth and Tony were on Court TV, I think last week.
We have not got an answer to that.
That it has to be absolutely excruciating. By the way, folks, as you watch, you'll see on the bottom of your screen numbers and places you can contact if you have any information. Seth, how are you holding up? I'm always concerned about you going through this. I've spoken with other parents through the years. I got a strong sense from them what it can be like. How are you holding up?
It's more like 1 minute at a time, 1 hour at a time. You know, it doesn't really seem like it's been 5 months. It's just you lose track of time. I mean, all you're doing is thinking about the next place to go look, what the next thing needs to be done, and just trying to stay positive, trying to stay focused on finding my son and what's the next step to do.
What's been the biggest frustration for you so far in the search?
Not getting much in terms of information wise. The last thing that I was really informed of by the sheriff's office is they don't have anything stating that he left the house. And that's pretty much, you know, that's it. But obviously he's not there, or else we wouldn't be looking for him. You know, there's no sightings. There's nothing. Just went poof. Things just don't make sense.
Nope.
I mean, we're talking about
none of it.
First of all, we're talking about a male child that left his house with nothing. A teenager that left the house with nothing. No phone, no switch, possibly no shoes, no backpack. I mean, completely unprepared. That's
no money.
It's not how he leaves the house to go somewhere.
Right. No medicine. None of it. And why? Maybe because he was meeting Billy from Call of Duty. Parents, you gotta keep better track. Like, that's, with the worse social media gets, the more opportunities those people have.
Oh, it's the majority of it's how they communicate.
That's how they
everything
pretend, yeah. So the more that technology advances, the more opportunities that these creeps have the availability to do what they're doing. And, you know, it's just crazy. It's like when Grand Theft Auto 5 came out, you know, and I was working with a dude and he was like, yeah, man, this was, gosh, 10, 11, 12 years ago. Yeah, man, I just bought my 10-year-old son Grand Theft Auto 5, you know, this and that. And I was like, do you not know what's in that game, bro? He goes, what do you mean? I was like, dude, you can literally go to a freaking strip club at that game, man. Like, seriously. Oh, are you serious? It's like, yeah. I better go take that back. Yeah, you probably should, dude.
Not to account for all the language that's in there, too. But
well, that too, but I'm just saying it's as far as you can go to, you know, it's like, come on, man. Like, that I know it's like it maybe people that are older don't think that this stuff exists, but man,
Man,
there's a lot of creepy people on that stuff.
the last time I played GTA, it was only GTA 1.
Oh damn, dude.
I can't imagine what they've come up with now.
Oh damn, dude.
Told you I'm not
Well,
a
I just told you. I just told you. I just told you.
I'm not a gamer, man.
Yeah. No, but that's what I'm saying. Like technology, like you have to be, you know what I mean? Like shoot, when I was raising my daughter, like, yo, dude, I had to like really watch out for stuff like that, you know, when it comes to the internet stuff and all that stuff. Because man, there's a lot of predators out there. A lot. And you always just got, you know, you got to think about it. This is the protection of your child, so do whatever you can.
Right.
Educate yourself, you know. I wish, that's why I said I wish there was like a newsletter that parents could sign up, like a digital newsletter where they have like parents that write articles about something their child went through and how it can help some other parent that has a child that's going through something similar, or even to keep parents aware and informed, like a group community where it's just a newsletter like, hey, this is what's, you know, like every month, you know, there's like, hey, this is what, watch out for Grand Theft Auto 5, you know, this has a age limit of this and that, this is what, you know, this has in it, you know, just like parents, not where anybody's like running it, but a thing where, you know, the parents that are educated on Grand Theft Auto 5 can then, and the other parent that might not be, can come across and be like, oh shoot, I didn't even know about that, about Grand Theft Auto 5, before they even get the game and put it in, kind of thing. So I don't know. I feel like I wish we had some kind of way to, like, because I know there's a lot of parents that don't have the time to educate themselves on what is in Grand Theft Auto or whatever.
We need more people like Sheriff Grady.
Yeah. The dude that's always having press conferences.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love it, dude.
Transparent, you know. Yeah, he does awesome, man. I just I don't know, maybe one day somebody can have the resources to do something like, I think it'd be great just for all parents to be informed, because I know sometimes that, you know, that parent's rushing from here to there to there to there, just trying to make it. I was there too, single dad, didn't get any help from mom, and trust me, but I had my ear out there, and I was used to knowing and having that extra sense of, you know, like, this don't make no sense, you know, let's dig a little deeper into it, kind of thing. But it's dangerous, especially these video games, man. That's why they got a child protection on the video games. And people are out there, man. There are a lot of wolves amongst the sheep. You know, just unfortunate.
Are with me. I don't expect him to leave anywhere without his phone and way of communication in case something happens. It's just too much doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. Seth Rogers, Tony Mathis, stand by, stay with us. When we come back, we have another question to ask tonight. Was Sebastian's mom the last person to see him?
Is that really loud?
We're just trying to do whatever we can to keep advance the investigation. It has not gone to a place where anybody has forgotten about him or is not pursuing this. The parents have been cooperative throughout at the beginning of the investigation. They have pretty much done whatever law enforcement has asked of them.
That's TBI, talking about the case of missing 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. So parents are cooperating. Now, his situation, his parents aren't together anymore, so his mom He has a stepfather and he has a dad, and they were all in the same area when all of this was happening, the same general area. But I want to play you something, which was an interview that was done with Sebastian's mother, Katie Proudfoot. Her and her husband sat down with the YouTube channel Chronicles of Olivia, and she explained the last time that she saw Sebastian.
He said, all right, good night, Mama. Good night, puppies. Love you. And went to bed. He was doing something in his room because about an hour later I heard some noise and I was like, I don't care what you're doing in there, but go to sleep. And about midnight I got up and I went to bed. And 6 o'clock I went to wake him up for school Monday morning. And that's when he wasn't here.
So Sebastian went to bed. They're in the same house, different parts of the house. She heard a thud noise, but didn't go to see him. But what was going on with that alleged thud noise, and who was with him? Was there anyone with him at that moment? Or, bringing me to my next question, was Sebastian's mother the last person to see him? Was she the last one? Was there someone else that came to the house that night? Or is there some other story? Our guests are still with us. Seth Rogers, Sebastian's father, and Tony Mathis, the family spokesperson. Seth, from your perspective, I know you've listened to every potential piece of information that's been available in this case, that's been made available. To me, that thud noise, I've always thought about that, what that could have been if it happened, right? What are your thoughts about Sebastian's mom? Do you believe she's the last person to see Sebastian before he disappeared?
I'd say yes. I mean, he was in her house.
That's
She's the one that put him to bed. She'd be the last person to have seen him.
What do you think about that thud noise that she described, the rustling that was going on? I thought about it. I've looked at the house. His room is on the first floor, right? So his window is accessible from the outside.
It would be, I believe, but I know law enforcement went around the house and stated that none of the windows or screens had been tampered with. So as for the thud, I mean, I don't know what she would classify as a thud. If I heard something in his room I know I'd go check on him just because I want to make sure he's okay.
Right.
I mean, he's got a medical condition that would definitely mean I need to go check on him just to make sure he's okay.
And have you spoken with his mom about that night at all? Have you had any sort of conversation, either just the two of you or with other people there?
Have not had a conversation with her just alone, and probably won't.
Why is that?
Because every time I want to speak to her, I'm going to have to speak to Chris. Chris wasn't there. I don't know why he needs to be involved in a conversation about what happened that night.
Man, that part kind of gets me.
And if he was,
Go ahead, man.
that part gets me because I know, like, my mom and dad, like, it wouldn't matter. They would have their own private conversation with no one else around. Like, it would not matter who was in the picture.
Right.
That is weird. I don't know.
Well,
like, why
maybe,
does she always have to have someone else? I don't know.
Maybe
Well,
he
he said
treated
it
her a
himself.
certain way. And
Go ahead, CJ. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, maybe he treated her a certain way in the background. I mean, they're not together anymore, right?
Yeah, they're not together, but I mean, they wouldn't.
Maybe
I'm
he
just talking
treated
from-
her a certain way, and she doesn't want to talk to him by herself because
That's possible. We don't
I mean,
know.
yeah, we don't know. So
I don't.
I know some people that have been some beyond rough relationships that still talk.
And they work together, yeah. Especially when it comes to your son. You put
That's
all
what
that shit aside.
That's what I mean.
But
And it happened.
And I don't say they have to be alone
they
and
did talk in the beginning.
alone, but at least a private conversation.
Yeah.
There could still be people outside the room or wherever outside.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for
You know,
sure.
if it was like a safety thing.
That's suspicious right there. If you've I was under the impression in the beginning that they did talk, just them. In the very beginning when it happened. But if there's never been a conversation, you know, where it's just biological, oh, that's suspicious as hell. Because then it's like, what are you trying to hide? What are you trying to hide for her? You know?
I haven't seen anything where it's just them two alone, ever.
Well, spouses also know, like, I don't want to say lying, but typically you know when your spouse is lying. Like about
Oh,
something.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't want to go point fingers down the road, but I don't know.
Yeah, but I think they've already put that narrative out there a long time ago that they were lying or whatever. Which then, okay,
Yeah,
I'm sure that they were questioned quite a bit. I don't know. I don't know if they were. I can only hope that these people were thoroughly questioned by investigators. And when it comes to, you know, something that, how can I put it? If there's something off and there's this much pressure, I would imagine that there would be even more pressure. Think about, you know, just like with Quentin Simon and Leilani, she was sitting out on her front lawn the whole time, you know, and then a video came out and it's like, oh, okay, now we're going to really question you.
Right.
There is no video. So when it comes to, you know, it is suspicious. She's the last person to have seen him. She was the last person to be around him. That's reported. You know, how does a kid slip out and you don't even know how he slipped out? Usually there's a window that's left open or a door that's left unlocked or you know, shoes missing. Something.
There'd be a sign that he would, or there should have been a sign that he'd left the house.
Like something as small as the door not being locked. Because if he is running out there as being lured out there, well, then the door wouldn't be locked.
Yeah, because he's not coming back in the house.
So the only exit, if you know, the only exit would be the garage. Well, I would hope you would hear the garage door open.
Or a window.
Well, windows were locked, so
Yeah,
he couldn't have locked the window after climbing out the window. So he didn't walk out of a window.
Oh, I didn't hear they
It
were
was all windows and doors were locked, and one of the doors had a keypad. So what are you gonna do? Are you getting lured? So you're gonna turn around and hit the keypad door lock? No. You're gonna turn around and lock the door? No, because you're thinking you're coming back in. So the whole thing about every door and window being locked, how do you even know he ran?
Go ahead.
No, it's just from when I first heard when I first heard of all this. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've seen somebody put it in chat. When I first started covering this, I thought he was through the garage in a vehicle. I almost felt like, you know, I'm just giving you my first initial thoughts. The thud was probably because he was trying to peep in on an argument that mom and dad were having. Mom and stepdad were having because it was probably about him. So he wanted to hear. He was probably trying to be sneaky. He accidentally fell and hit his head because then mom was coming back and he didn't want her to know he was listening. So he was trying to, you know, quickly turn and go back to bed, but unfortunately something happened, stumbled, hit his head. And then I think mom walked in there and said, "Oh my gosh." And then it went out through,
Yeah.
call Chris. Chris, come save me.
Yeah.
But that's just what I thought in the first week. Now, do I think that now? No. Have I thought that? No. I've this whole time, after when we were searching, and then after our searches, I feel like he was lured from video games. But initially, yeah, it's like, what the hell, man? This is suspicious as hell. Don't
Yeah,
know
I
where he
mean,
left. How he left?
the scent stops at the trash can. The trash can's at the end of the driveway. So the only way that scent can stop
Wait a
right
minute.
there.
Who said the scent stopped at the trash can?
That's what I've seen online.
I mean, if that's the case,
I think that was made up from the fake searcher.
oh,
I
I
think
thought
because
that was.
I remember her saying the story that the scent went to the trash can on the curb.
Well, yeah, I think that was on
Yeah,
that.
that was that fake dog handler.
I thought there was a different source that said that, like Ellie or something.
I don't know about that. I just heard the pond.
Yeah, the
I don't
pond.
know about the.
The pond thing's got me crazy because we seen firsthand Trey go through that pond.
just
I mean,
Yeah, he went through the whole thing.
yeah, because I was under the
You would have
impression
found
that
something if it was there.
Yeah.
If he was there.
I was under the impression that this is where the dog stopped, and I'm like, if this is where the dog stopped or we're at, I'm like, this is where it's at, unless typically, like Busby was saying, was the other scenario. The scent stopped at the trash can or at the end of the driveway, which means you could have gotten a car. So I was thinking,
I think
That's-
I think that was just a rumor from the fake dog handler chick. What's her name? Stephanie
know
or
her
something.
name.
Yeah, Stephanie was. That's the only place I've heard it. So I don't, because honestly, that's why I was even questioning the pond, like if there was even one in the beginning of the show. Like, it's
Yeah,
still a question that I have to this day. Was ever since the beginning, was there a real hit at the pond? I hear so many different things, yay or nay. But I think the one with the trash can was the fake dog handler.
I can't remember the source of who it was back then that said that the dog jumped in the pond.
yeah, somebody said that. Or actually, I think Chris said that
To you,
Yeah,
Yeah,
when you talk to him.
yeah.
but I mean, the only thing is we all know that pond's been checked, not by just us, but by a lot of people.
The whole area, the
So-
construction
Area.
site,
Construction,
all of
the
it.
cemetery pond.
Yeah.
That construction site has got to be drastically changed since we were there last.
Oh man, I bet they've made so much progress.
Oh
I'm-
yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna find out next time I go.
It's probably a neighborhood by now,
Probably.
honestly, because it was halfway there when we were there. So they probably already done built that one up and started going on the other side, because
Yeah,
where you would go into the construction site from the neighborhood of the Proudfoots, they left that other part of the street open ended, and I think that's where they're probably continuing more of their
Back.
development.
yeah, continuing back from where we were.
Yeah, like because there was you could keep like that road that you turn into to then turn onto Sebastian's road. I can't remember the name; it's been so long. But
Kelly,
you're coming.
Something like
you're,
that.
you're coming off the main road, and then you got to turn left to go into that little couple block area. You just keep driving straight down, and then you would turn right to go into the construction part
Uh-huh.
where we parked.
Yep.
Instead of turning right, you keep going straight, because that street only had a house on each side, and then that street wasn't stopped. It was like they're just waiting to continue to go that way after they get done.
Yeah.
With where they're at.
I'm
right there.
I'm just curious. So when I go back, I'm gonna go through there.
Yeah, take a video, man, with your phone and send it. We'll check it out.
I can get my stupid phone holder to stick to the dash.
Yeah.
It's one of those glue down ones. And ever since it's been so hot, it's been falling off.
Oh, dude, man, go to Five Below, get the suction cup phone holder, and you can have it on your window.
Yeah, I'll have to.
That's what I do.
I think there's a Five Below there in Hendersonville.
Yeah. It's like
So-
$5, a little suction cup, and then it comes with a thing to hold your phone.
Yeah, it sucks.
And
This
you
thing
just
was
put it
like-
right by your rear view mirror.
This thing was like $40, and as soon as it gets hot, it falls off.
Yeah. Yeah, try that one, man. All right, we'll get back to this. Go ahead, man.
I was just gonna say I could always super glue it.
No, you don't want to do that.
No.
That takes your resale down. No, you don't want to do that. All right, we'll get back to this here. Oh, shoot, I forgot she was on my neck. Oh,
was
crap.
on a phone call, then maybe he can tell us what the thud was.
How about the rest of the day leading up to the point that Sebastian got home? Who was the last person other than his mom to see him? And have you spoken with that person?
No, I guess the last person to see him besides his mom would be, the waitress at at Texas Roadhouse.
And Tony, as we try to track and figure out who interacted with Sebastian, where he could have gone, how this could have happened. From your perspective, what are the lingering questions that you see in this case as well?
Well, if you're talking about that situation specifically, Vinny, I mean, clearly she was the last person that was seen with him. There has been no evidence that he ever left the house on his own. So in my mind, what would be the opposite of him leaving the house on his own? It would be leaving the house with somebody. Well, the only somebody, admittingly, by Katie that was in that house was hers. So clearly we have some questions there, but my bigger question as Seth's spokesperson, and where I would ask Court TV to give us some assistance is, we have video evidence that shows that Seth was at work. We've had all of his electronic devices that have been seized and dumped. We'd like to know why Seth still hasn't been cleared, or what they might need from Seth and or myself to get him cleared.
So they have not cleared. I didn't realize that. I just didn't realize that was the situation. So
not at all.
So my guess is if they haven't cleared him, that may explain some of the lack of communication that is going back
Yeah,
and
it makes
forth in
sense,
this
don't
case.
it, Vinny?
Good possibility. But what more do you want from me? I was at work. I was video camera from 6 p.m. till after 7 a.m. the next morning. My son should be with me right now. He should be in this house, and I should not be looking for him. Tell me where I don't gain anything from this. This is not funny. The fact is I'm looking for my son. He's not here. Y'all took my electronics. What more do you want? I mean, do they need my bank records? I mean,
Nope.
You can have them. I mean, I don't understand what I have to do to get cleared.
We're willing to do anything to get him cleared, Vinny.
Go ahead, Tony.
There are resources
Yeah, we're willing to do anything to work with them to get him cleared, because it does allow us to bring in more resources once he's clear. And you know, if the video evidence, the phone data, and whatever else they may need isn't enough, then we'd simply like us to tell them, you know, why is it that he hasn't been cleared? He did a polygraph test with a well-known FBI polygrapher that Nancy Grace set up, and he passed that with flying colors. So, you know,
we're out of time, unfortunately. Tony, I'm sorry I have to cut you off there. We're out of time, but thank you both for joining us. We'll still look for those answers as the investigation continues.
Damn, he really did. Hold on, I thought this was 40. Wait a minute. What the heck? So he really did cut it off real quick.
Yep.
Hold on, because this says 45 minutes or something. Whoa, hold on.
Yeah, we're willing to do anything to work with them to get him cleared, because it does allow us to bring in more resources once he's clear. And you know, if the video evidence, the phone data, and whatever else they may need isn't enough, then we'd simply like us to tell them, you know, why is it that he hasn't been cleared? He did a polygraph test with a well-known FBI polygrapher that Nancy Grace set up, and he passed that with flying colors. So, you know,
we're out of time, unfortunately. Tony, I'm sorry I have to cut you off there. We're out of time, but thank you both for joining us. We'll still look for those answers as the investigation continues.
So what is this? Sorry, that is so loud. What is this then?
I'm Vinny Politan. Our investigation into the disappearance of 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers from his home in Tennessee continues.
His phone's ringing off the hook. Yeah, I know. We're gonna check that out too, Bo. That's the post Seth show, Vinny. His phone was ringing off the hook, so he just kicked them off the show. So he still kept going. And then you see him, listen, you can hear his phone ringing off the hook.
Answers as the investigation continues.
He's like, bye.
I'm Vinny Politan. Our investigation into the disappearance of 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers from his home in Tennessee continues.
His phone's ringing off the hook.
The circumstances surrounding this disappearance, though, really raise a lot of questions that need to be answered. Here's more of his story.
Dang, he just booted him off.
15-year-old Sebastian Rogers seemingly disappeared without a trace from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee, where he was living with his mom and stepdad. His mom said he went to bed, and in the morning, he was nowhere to be found. Investigators report.
Hold on. What is this, like a re-air?
Reporting and the thoughts of the...
Oh, he's actually got other people on there. Oh, okay. Dang, he just cut him off. Let me save that part. Let me see here. I want to get to his show. We can save that part for another show, and then we can put it together with Jennifer Coffendoffer and SF Investigates in another episode. I'm going to watch the video where he did after that, because he wanted to know why is he not cleared. Hold on one second. Go ahead, buddy.
Did they have Seth's phone, or did they take his phone?
No, they gave the phones back. From what I remember, they gave all the family members their phones back, right? I think they just kept Seth's video game system. Hey, baby.
There's got to be some kind of electronic communication on that.
What,
for the console.
video game system? Yeah, dude. You're in a party. You're like talking to people.
Yeah.
You're messaging. You got DMs. Like,
I think on my Xbox you can actually hook up Discord now.
yeah.
So,
yeah. Yeah, you could have a party through Discord on your Xbox. Where's my playlist? YouTube is so buggy anymore. No. Come here. All right, so we're gonna watch this one. This is Vinny, his own channel, Vinny Politan 1, and he had a live. Here's his channel. Here's the link. And this is him. I think this is gonna be really interesting because he didn't even realize he wasn't cleared, and so he's like, "Why won't they clear Dad?" Now he is a little crazy with his lives, but there is a lot of great conversation. If you've never watched one of them, there's a lot of good combo.
Children don't just disappear on their own. That's not how it works. Doesn't work that way. Something happened. Someone knows. Someone is responsible.
We'll play in a bit.
I'm Vinny Politan. Great to see you. Great to have you aboard, folks.
I'll quit being.
Wow. Here we are. Here we are. I can't believe we're still here. And there's still no evidence, no leads, no clues, no arrests, nothing, no information. How does that work? Explain to me how that works.
Here, have some more.
Having a hard time. Because it shouldn't work this way. It just should not work this way. 15-year-old child with autism disappears, and I don't know. There's no evidence of anything. Are you telling me this is either the perfect escape runaway by a 15-year-old with autism on medication, or this is the perfect crime, one or the other? Is that what we're saying here? No evidence, no leads, no suspects, no nothing. No evidence of foul play.
Right. No.
So here we are in the case of.
That's why everything is out there in the open. It could be as simple as Katie had something to do with it. It could be as simple as Chris had something to do with it. It could be as simple as Seth had something to do with it. It could be as simple as he was lured. It could be as simple as he ran away. And that's the thing. What could it be? It could be anything because there is nothing. Not since the first morning it was reported. Now she's a ball of energy.
Sebastian Rogers, I'm Vinny Politan. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe, do all the things you need to do, folks, to keep us going here. It's great to have everyone here. The question I posed is, why is Sebastian's father still not cleared? He was on my show the other night and talked about it. And it's very concerning to him because he believes it's really hindering his access to information, hindering everything. So, I mean, isn't that the way investigations should go? You look at the people closest, and then you fully investigate. And everything he has said is that he has been completely cooperative, willing to do a lie detector, gave up his phone, everything else, alibi at work at the time. I'm trying to understand what it would take for him to be cleared. I don't understand. What do they potentially suspect out there? I guess anything is on the table, right? If you're an investigator with no evidence or no information, but at the same time, there's nothing. Wow.
Nothing. Yeah, nothing, huh?
Absolutely nothing. And that's frustrating because if there's nothing at this point, when will there be something? Like what could possibly happen?
We knew the answer
There's
to
been
that.
extensive searches that have continued. Like if he went off on his own.
Huh?
Wish we knew the answer to that question.
Oh yeah. I think she's getting ready to dart.
Own. But first of all, if he's leaving in the middle of the night on his own, how and why would he leave? Right? For me, it was always thinking about, well, maybe someone lured him there under something. Well, then there would be some digital.
Uh-oh.
There would be something that would indicate that.
Something.
And then presumably there would be many more people who know, many more opportunities for someone to talk. And if it was in fact a classmate or someone like that, how limited was his interaction on the World Wide Web, on the internet? Could he have been targeted by someone pretending to be someone else and to get him to a particular place? Did he leave on his own? Could he have left? I guess it's possible, but why would he leave without shoes? Why would he leave without a phone? That none of that makes sense, does it? Of course it doesn't.
No.
Of course it doesn't. There's nothing about the circumstances that at least we believe to be true that would lead to him walking away on his own. There's nothing. There's nothing.
Man, most people know you got to get rid of the phone.
Obviously, anything.
Huh?
Most people know you got to get rid of the phone. Right? Like if you're trying not to be tracked.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying Sebastian knew that. I'm just saying phone wise. I wonder, does anybody know where they found the phone at? Or if it was just laying on the, I don't remember.
I do not remember that.
Like if it was laying on a table or anything.
I don't know that for sure.
That would kind of make a little bit more sense.
Probably in his room. I mean, if there was, because then maybe if it was on a table, they'd be like, well, maybe he went out this door.
So just wondering.
I don't think they gave that specific of an answer to that. I think it was just like he left it. That's it.
Yeah.
Vague.
Just the blanket was turned over or something.
Yeah.
And Sarah, she wants to know, the panel, do you think police are keeping things from public because they know how much more in only a matter of time before it's made public? That could very definitely be it. I feel like the reason that there's nothing either being reported or I'll go back to it again. When you see how much trafficking takes place, how many kids go missing in that area.
Oh yeah, there's something bigger at play.
Spider web. Yeah, big spider web.
A federal investigation that was already going on, and then they would just be hush hush because you can't mess up the big catching the big fish.
No.
Yeah. No.
As bad as that sounds, I mean.
Yeah. They're saying it was on the kitchen counter. Katie said in an interview.
So he didn't have. I guess there was.
I don't know.
I just got so many dark questions, but I'll never have the answers to that.
Like, oh, go ahead.
Like, was it normal for him to have his phone with him in his room, or was it like a rule? Like just
Yeah,
thing.
like you do need to leave it on the kitchen counter before you go to bed, right?
Like little things that would make
that being a rule. Yeah, if he's.
But if you think about it, kids these days that have cell phones, even the young ones, they take it everywhere with them. If he was planning on leaving that house, he would have took the phone.
Right, I would think so.
I would think
if you are running away.
Yeah, I mean,
I would.
I got nieces and nephews that freaking sleep with their phones. So.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I would imagine him, if he was leaving on his own accord, he would be taking that phone with him. For sure.
It's just
because if he was leaving, he obviously wanted to leave for something, and he wanted to get somewhere, right? So wouldn't he want his phone to choose in the phone, right? Yeah.
If he was in communications with someone, he'd want to be able to talk to him, you would think.
Well, yeah, because he's not gonna. It's not like end game is the woods. It's like end game is a destination.
Right.
To get somewhere. So I would think that he would want to have his phone. It would just make sense.
Knowing how many people hunt that area, I think that if for some reason he is in the woods, somewhere around that area, I think come deer season, somebody's gonna find him.
Well, that's what they were saying. Like in the wintertime, the fall and winter.
When's turkey season in Tennessee?
Come hunting season.
Turkey season's not until spring.
Oh, we got a spring and fall in Illinois.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is in fall too.
Yeah, it's probably like late
Here's
November, right?
Ours
Deer-
is
Deer season's November to January.
Yeah.
Ours is October something, like 15th. I can't remember the turkey season. I'm just thinking about people being
Bow
in the
hunting.
woods.
Yeah, I never bow hunted, so you got to include bow hunting before that too.
Yeah, but then again, you're not getting on property that you can't have permission, man. And
Yeah, it's gonna be the same.
the property that the hunters, I feel like the property that the hunters are going to be having access to are going to be is areas that were searched already.
I used to have access to 150 acres just up the road from there.
But I think those people would have helped already. The ones that are going to allow even hunters to come on their property.
With everything going on, most people are landowners are gonna
Right.
not want anything to do with the drama.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not going to go out there and search every cranny and those woods. Those woods are horrible, man.
I know. To the
I've
northwest, especially.
Is that Tyree Springs Road?
I don't remember the road, but going
Yeah.
up over that, it's more than a hill. But
Yeah, if you take Tyree Springs Road and you go towards White House, it's treacherous up through there. Big cliffs and gullies.
Yep.
Yeah, but there's been a lot of searches too, man.
Yeah, but
I've
not heard
all the
anybody.
dogs.
I've not heard anybody confirm they searched on Tyree Springs Road. That's a concern of mine.
Yeah, I don't know that area. I'd have to look at the map.
It's not far from where we were at all.
I'm bad with roads.
Me too, man.
There's so
if I
many.
seen it, I could be like, "Oh yeah," but yeah, the road. I'm just like, shoot, I'm lost trying to find the road in my head already.
When
Oh,
we
you too, Kitty.
when we made that
You weren't
turn,
even born then.
when we made that turn at the school, and we went towards the subdivision, if you kept going straight, Tyree Springs Road is on the left. It branches off.
You got Trey looking it up.
Yeah.
Hey, baby.
It's a crap ton of woods. The first section is, and then when you get in towards White House, it thins out, and they built a whole bunch of houses. I drove up through there recently, and I used to hunt that area all the time.
Wouldn't there be a sign? I mean, not that he couldn't be. I'm just, man, it's not that big of an area. And if people were really searching, I mean, shoot, just the area we searched, even the areas that I was searching before we ran into each other, I was there for a good month already.
Yeah, I was gonna say
searching.
You were there forever.
Yeah, it was like a month.
I'm starting to believe that you knew the roads better than I did.
No. No, I was just trying to look for any place that hadn't been looked for, so or searched yet, so I could just try and help in any way that I could. Oh, whoops! All right, we'll check out. Let me know. Let me see here. She's gonna dart off. Here, let me play some of this real quick. Let me talk.
Everything is possible. Everything's on the table. We get it. There's no suspects, no evidence, no leads, no nothing. But did he leave without his shoes? Like if that part of this is true, that there's no evidence that he had shoes on his feet, where is he going? Where is he going? How far is he going? Really? Like, and how would he not be found or seen or spotted or someone said something? If he's lured by some creeper or something, you know, in a gaming app or somewhere else, somehow was able to make contact with him, how would there not be some trail of that somewhere? Because I've got to believe they've investigated all of that, including his phone. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense to anyone, but it seems that there had to be something somewhere that caused this to happen, right? Tension in the home, an argument, a fight.
I'm going to go ahead and skip the dramatics here.
No sense. So what will it take to clear Sebastian's father, who from all accounts seems pretty connected to trying to get to the bottom of this?
Oh, for sure.
Now, I've seen parents in all different circumstances. And I know we all react differently, yada, 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 yada. But I've been doing this for a long time.
Oh, wow.
And I've seen parents with missing children in different scenarios, all different scenarios. And there's a little bit of a pattern. The ones who are really looking for their child and are looking for an answer and are obsessed, and it's the most important. I mean, they are there day in and day out. They're not letting it go. And by the way, they are very public about it. And you can, say whatever you want. Say what you want about it. But I know I'm in the media. I want people to talk. But I think sunshine helps these days. And you can go after the internet, and you can say, oh, it's a bad thing. Rumors that it breathes life into stories. It keeps faces in the public eye, and it keeps pressure going. Whether it's a podcast, a live stream, stories on the local news, stories on national news like Court TV. It keeps the pressure on, and it keeps people talking. It does keep people talking.
I don't know. Is this just him going, what could it be? I mean, I get what he's saying. It's all the stuff we've been saying for months, but
he's building it up.
I don't know.
Somebody wants to know if you felt when you talked to Chris, if you felt he was suspicious. I don't know.
I can't really say. I don't know. It's hard to say, like pinpoint my exact feeling on that. I honestly, in my opinion, I
just
think,
asked him.
I think the police. I have not muted, right?
No, you're good. I think they're delayed in chat or something.
If he knows the police, like everybody says that they do, like connected, then yeah, they probably got him in the car. And we're like, hey man, this is what happened. This is where the dogs tracked. This is where the dogs hit. And we even had a dog jump in the damn pond. And if they told him that because they're friends or know whatever, like a good old boy thing, then if he believed that, then that's what he believed. That's what he was told, and he would be, stepdad or not. I will say he had a calmness, but people always say like people react differently and stuff like that, but like
Yeah,
I have a calmness to me whenever I'm under a lot of stress.
plus
Like
it was a phone call. It wasn't a face to face.
yeah,
You
so
know.
you can be more nonchalant, but I know that like in my background, whenever I have to relay information, it doesn't matter what just took place or what happened. I get that information to you as direct as I possibly can without emotion, like without sadness or being angry. If it's something that needs to be relayed with urgency or something that's highly important to me, it'll almost be like, I won't say a robot, but just or a numbness, but just directing to the point. And then I'm sure if I called 911 for something that was very bad, they would say that there was something wrong. Like in the way that I spoke, just too calm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I've been around a lot of traumatic things in my life. So even the most worst thing is not going to upset me. So in a sense, I think it wasn't really suspicious. I think he was just trying to find his kid.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard you say that from the beginning, you know.
No, at first I thought like he had this super calm about him. But that's before I knew his background. And now that I know, like, and people, the whole child DCFS report and all that stuff, but still, there's good in everybody and bad in everybody. So I think he just relayed information that he was told by whoever, whenever they drove him around. And he was just informing me of the last, at that time, the scent and how the dog jumped into the pond. So I don't really think it was suspicious or anything like that or out of the ordinary, especially knowing what I know now.
Yeah, I mean, and plus it'd be hard to without a face to face too. I mean,
Well, plus I don't know him. Like I don't.
Just think of how much miscommunication takes place just from a voice conversation instead of a face to face, like right there. You know, you already lose some of the conversation just because words and emphasis could mean completely different things based off of somebody's eyebrows.
Pretty much like texting in a sense.
Right.
I mean, obviously you can pick up voice and stuff like that, but
it goes back to the thing where what you said is not what I heard.
Yeah. I can hear your tone. Stuff like that.
Like BHB's tone when she went up to the Bauer Sox's vehicle. That was nuts. Well, we're gonna have to do another one here soon, in a couple days or something. I definitely want to go through that SF Investigates was on Web Sleuths. So I want to check that out. Also, Jennifer Coffendorfer had that gentleman on that we saw in the J for Justice video. When it came to the restraining orders. So we'll check that one out. And we'll get to some of the other stuff too. So I'll be having a show in a couple days again. We'll be doing Idaho 4 here on Friday morning. We're going to be doing Micah some more. Probably tomorrow night we'll have another Micah show. So we'll be covering different things here. So we will get together again for another Sebastian show. I thought it was a great show. I think we went through a lot. I think especially in the beginning, the Vigil, the events taking place, the
timelines.
There's the one detective a day. I mean, but I can imagine what they're having to deal with. Just even with, not like no tip is not a credible tip, but it just gets to a point sometimes where it's like, there's a reason that they're not coming to check this out.
Yeah. Right.
So, but yeah, I want to say thank you all for hanging out. Appreciate that. Thank you for,
Thank you, everybody.
Bye, Angel. Say bye. Say bye, kitty. She probably won't. She just wants to dart off and play. I know, honey. All right. Well, but I'll be back tomorrow. I'm not sure about tomorrow during the daytime, but for sure we'll be back tomorrow night. And hope to see y'all then. We'll be talking more Micah. And hashtag Sebastian Strong. Drop the green hearts in chat, please, as we exit out of here. And if you're not subscribed, please go subscribe to the special guest of the evening, Busby and Narked. There's their links. And I just want to say thank you all for your support. Your support and your company. It means a lot to me. Thank you guys for hanging out.
Thanks, TJ. Thank you, Busby.
Not even just tonight for Sebastian, but with exploring the Micah Miller case. It's been, I think it's been a great series that we're doing so far.
Thanks, guys. I've been really enjoying this.
Yeah, thank you all for the community, and we'll definitely see you tomorrow night. Appreciate y'all. Have a peaceful, positive evening. Be safe. We'll see you tomorrow.